continue to fuck with this.
Okay, so last time
Drama.
on fucking in
Weirdwood.
Yeah.
Total drama Weirdwood.
Total drama Weirdwood. Total drama fake word.
I will give a, what is it called? I'm forgetting terminology.
Hero point?
Yes, a hero point. I will give a hero point to whoever gives a satisfying recap.
Tell me that total
Satisfying.
drama Weirdwood is not a satisfying recap. I feel like it should
Alright.
be.
Let me open up. Let me crack open my little notebook right here. Alright. So, a lot of shit happened. See, we enter the fake court. We see. I find it very fun that after the Pathfinder switch, we all rolled something different when we walked into the fake court and looked around. We had Fey lore, occultism, arcana, nature, and esoteric lore. The queen leads us to our room where Whistler is, and he is voluntold to take care of us. Get all our shit back, by the way. And
just as long as we don't let it touch the tree.
Yeah, as long as we don't let it touch the tree, we can have our shit back. But we shouldn't need it, because we're all friendly here. All here for a good time. Angharad goes off with the queen for a nice little chat. Maddie and Electra have a nice little friendly chat. Willow takes Paige and Pierre and Whistler, and we go to get some food. Now, there were some very interesting conversations that were had. Electra and Maddie had a very, very tense conversation. Angharad and the queen also had a tense conversation. The three dipshits had a very fun time.
The three
made some friends.
Like, everybody else was pissing people off left and right, and then the three dipshits are like, let's have cake and a party and discuss friendship.
Yeah, let's discuss friendship. TLDR, Maddie and Electra do not see eye to eye on the issue with Angharad and coming to the fake court at all. Angharad was disowned by the queen for reasons. For reasons. Yeah, because fucking face shit. And she said one word too many. So big sads all around. Angharad and Maddie found each other and are now comforting each other to heal from their very tense conversations. And meanwhile, the three dipshits had a wonderful time making friends, eating cake. Yeah, that's good summary.
You get 1 hero point, which gives you an allotted total of 2 hero points, which, if you remember, they can be exchanged for a reroll, or in combat, they can be used to, in lieu of rolling for stabilization, you auto-stabilize.
Heard.
Yes. So, with that said, there was a little bit of text RP, if I am recalling correctly, that happened where in the evening everyone was kind of winding down. The three dipshits had talked to Whistler and got a token from Whistler, and I think Angharad and Maddie had their brief conversation. After both of their respective difficult conversations, they had a much nicer kind of chill hangout time, for lack of a better way of describing it. But did anything significant happen in that text RP? Because I only read snippets of
it. It was mostly conversation. I don't know if there were any huge revelations there. The main thing for Angharad is that Maddie taught her how to play the She Loves Me Not game with the
Mhm.
flower. And Maddie cheated, which Aaron did not catch. But Maddie set the flower up.
Sorry, I'm being a dipshit. Ignore me.
Maddie cheated such that Angharad would pull the final petal on She Loves Me. At which point Angharad sprang into happy tears and held this petal as if it was the most precious thing in the world.
That's very cute. Very, very precious moment.
Joe, can we get rid of the game pause, please? Thank you.
There you go.
Maddie just wanted to make her friend feel better.
And she
Yes.
does.
That's kind of it.
A very, very distressing evening all around. Well, not all around, almost all around. But eventually it would wind down to a close and everyone would convene together, including Angharad, in the sort of ambassador guest room area that they reserve for people who are just visiting in this big tree area. Where before there were only 5 beds, now there is a 6th bed. But if there's nothing else for the evening, we can have you all long rest, refresh yourself, and then wake up in the morning. And I would pass it off to probably Piper and Iris for a scene if they wanted to start us off.
Or I do have a question though.
Sure.
Aren't we supposed to like disappear before morning?
Before dawn, but I'm
Before dawn.
assuming, yeah.
Okay, I don't want it to be the next
won't-
day if we're screwed.
No, you won't. You will not be. You will not be screwed. It's partially like a figure, like a figure of speech, and to say like, leave tomorrow morning, and then Angharad don't come back. You are not held to a very very strict time, so long as you hurry. Because, I mean, you don't want to overstay your rushed off welcome.
Well, and we
say...
still want to like move fast because we are still technically supposed to talk to the queen again tomorrow morning, right? I thought we were
Technically, yes.
so.
I would not advise that.
Yeah, I was not saying that like we were going to, but we want to get up and get gone before she would start expecting us to show
yes,
up.
that makes sense.
Yes. But you guys can have exchanged all of the relevant travel information in the evening. If you want to do that in character, you can. If you're okay with hand waving it, we can rest and wake up. Or if you want to role play it out in the evening, we can do that too.
Just so much confusion from the dipshit trio, I imagine.
So much fucking confusion.
I thought we were the ones that everybody was supposed to be like concerned about because we're the ones that don't know how to handle ourselves.
We're the civilians who don't know any better. What the fuck happened with y'all?
So if we're hand waving it, it's TLDR, and Herod would explain we gotta go.
Yes, Angharad would have explained that she had been disowned, and that if the party is still there by dawn, Angharad will have to stay in the court forever. So they need to leave like now.
Let's get out. Let's go.
Yeah. So you explain this in the morning, and I assume you all wake up as you explain this in your very poetic Angharad way, which I will permit you to do if you'd like. In that interim, we'll have a slight interlude scene, and then I believe you will be getting a visitor from one of the other Fae in the tree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine if you just want to move to the Electra and Maddie thing. I'm fine hand waving it.
Okay. Then at some point in the following morning, you are all greeted by a very bright, like peaceful, like dawn, and it's not dawn in the sense like when you wake up you're like, oh shit, I'm late. It's dawn in this beautiful naturalistic sense. You feel refreshed, invigorated for the day, um, a little bit hopeful for what's on the horizon. You feel like a portent of good vibes coming your way. A serendipitous wind.
I'm just imagining the do 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 do.
Yes, it's very pretty, and like the light comes in through the one windowed area, and like there is, well, there's not actual windows. The light would come through, but the bioluminescent light in the room would change hue to kind of reflect a sort of soft morning feel. Whereas in the evening they dimmed and kind of made a warm toned, relaxed, cozy up by the fire and fall asleep vibe. And now they have a crisp blue. There actually is like on some parts of the inside of this tree, there is a slight film of dew, though not on any of your beds or your gear. Um, so you don't have to worry about like water damage or whatever, or being soggy when you wake up.
Well,
Yeah.
rise and shine,
Did-
everyone.
Good morning.
Oh, okay. I saw your light going off, and I didn't know if you were talking or not. Sorry.
Surprised you were
So,
able to sleep.
I mean, gotta rest some now. Got a big day today, right?
Yeah. I'll be a lot more off edge when we leave this place.
Yeah, we can agree on that at least.
Listen, I'm sorry for snapping at you yesterday.
Mm. Yeah, it's understandable. But like I understand like gang is kinda new and all, but like I trust her. Hawk trusts her.
Yes, I know very much how you trust that woman. So let's just put that behind us and get the hell out of this forest.
Fair enough. If we're
Okay.
gonna have sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's like yeah, if we're gonna fight or something, it'd probably be best if like we don't have to watch our backs the whole time. She kind of grins jokingly.
She nods.
Let's get the hell out of here.
Let's get the hell out of here. Looks to the others.
More confusion.
I imagine Paige is a fucking sleepy puffball.
Pierre would have woken up and started packing up both his and Paige's things.
She has exactly 2 minutes before I go ask for some water.
Paige just rolls.
I will get her stuff. Do not worry about her. I'll wake her. And he kicks the side of the bed, and expecting it to rattle like a loose frame to kind of shake her awake. It is in fact not very rattly, as it is solid tree. The beds are grown from the actual tree. So he just kind of kicks the side of a wooden thing, and there's not much rattle to it. And then he just he walks over and then puts your backpack and like part of the things that you have been traveling with and just plops it on top of where your head is.
He just like grunt of discomfort, and you just see this mass under the blanket start moving, and then just her head pops out, and her hair is all fuzzy, like and staticky from the fucking blankets, and just glare straight at Pierre before she just grabs the backpack and just takes it under the blanket. She'll start getting ready. Fine.
Willow just kind of like is watching. Imagine what like the three of them have ended up in the beds beside each other,
Yeah.
and she's kind of like sitting on the edge of her bed, like kind of just like absently like cleaning her glasses as she is halfway prepared. Just kind of watching. Well, that's a good thing she started. I was thinking I might have to actually bribe her to get moving.
Her face appears, poking out the other end of the blanket facing Willow. Still puffball, but not as puffy. She's slowly coming back online.
No,
Bribe?
too late. You've already started.
Yeah. She'll fucking curse under her breath as she goes back to getting ready.
And just kind of leans back on like one hand as she like slides her glasses on, looks over to the hunters plus Ankaran. So, are we certain that we're not going to get like shot in the back or something if we just wander away?
They can try.
I'm sure you're a good fighter, but I'm still pretty certain that you are capable of being shot. Considering how close I
Yeah.
got to just burning your tail off the other day.
Well, yeah, I can get shot, but
So
they can
maybe,
try.
maybe don't tempt that fate, especially since nobody has answered. Are we sure they're not just going to shoot us in the back?
It would be breaking hospitality to do that.
Is it not breaking hospitality to leave before a deal that was assumed to be struck is actually struck?
The exact wording. Sorry, I've got chicken nuggies, which are not exactly conducive to ethereal Welsh. When my mother spake, it was with the understanding that come the dawn I would no longer be here. Thus, it would break hospitality.
So one foregoes the other in this case.
It is an unspoken deal.
You fare
More for me.
fascinating.
That was you fair fascinating.
Yes.
And Herod will give a small, sad smile, nod of the head. Well, I suppose we've been called far worse things Thank thee for thy kindness.
And there's just this kind of quirk of a smile, and she shakes her head and kind of stands up and finishes putting a few things in her bag. Oh, not quite a kindness, more of a statement of fact. You, I imagine, many of the people here at least, would get along remarkably well with some business people back home. My brother Emerson would absolutely love to come here.
There's a complicated expression on Angharrid's face, and she's quiet for a moment, and then we have been known on occasion to treat with humans.
I sense there is a silent but in that phrase.
'Tis not a thing to which I have a great liking.
Oh, that's why I said my brother Emerson would be good to come here. I have a limited patience for it myself most of the time, but he enjoys the wordplay.
Then, if he were ever to visit, 'twould gladden my heart if thou didst send word of what he saw. 'Twill likely be many a year before I lay eyes here again.
There is a kind of like a quirk of the brow and tilt of the head, and you can see she is very much examining Ingrid. And there is a thought that she just, no. Just, nope, we're not saying that out loud. That's probably a bad idea.
You can see the chaos roll resolving behind those eyes.
Pretty much.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to do I want to request
I
a
fixed
roll.
my spells.
Good work.
I think. They look more correct than they did before.
Well, I wanted to request everyone. Oh, it's because I have Angharad selected. Get that out of here.
Oh,
Check this out.
okay.
I'm waiting for nothing to happen.
Oh, there we go.
Hey.
Yay! Oh, and
If
just
you all
click on the
could
dice.
please make a perception check for me.
Oh, just click the dice in the chat.
Yeah,
I hit roll, but I'm not sure if anything is happening.
I see.
There we go. Oh, a 2.
Yeah, it was a very not great roll.
Don't worry, man. I got you beat.
Maddie. There we go. The hunters and Willow hear this. Angharad, you are a bit preoccupied just with the anxiety of events last night, um, still kind of weighing on your mind. You and like, given your nature, since you don't really sleep, you just kind of ruminated on that uncomfortable feeling, and to be kind of put here with this bed, it just it's not overwhelming, but it is like a constant prick in the back of your mind that you're just like, you're not really focused on your surroundings. And Paige, you're still under the covers. You are getting dressed and getting ready, but you are under the covers. And it's like I imagine it's the like kind of kid thing where you just grab everything you need and pull it under the covers and then start to just all at once emerge ready to go.
Listen. Paige is enjoying being in an actual bed for as long as she can.
So neither of you two hear this, but the hunters, who are very just keenly aware and a bit on edge, Oh, sorry. Hold on. One sec.
That's more than 1 second. Joe's a liar.
How dare he?
Okay, sorry. So, the hunters and Willow, as you are getting ready, get a bit on edge. And Willow's just kind of vaguely always intrigued and interested about any sort of rustle of movement
Uh-huh.
in and around this area. Um, there is, you hear at the door, you don't hear a knock, but you hear what sound like muffled conversation. And the hunters hear this. Um, you hear a brief exchange between two voices of one saying, I'm not doing nothing. Don't mind me. I'm just warming up this spot on the wall. And
Shush.
the other voice you immediately recognize, or not actually. Yeah, no, you both saw Whistler. You would both immediately recognize is the tree fae Whistler. And you hear, oh, as you like it, troublesome, troublesome one. And then you hear a very, very soft, like, tick, tick, tick.
Like knock on the door.
Yeah, the knock of like one small wooden finger clicking on the door.
Willow will go and open the door. She has no issue with Whistler, and it's looking if there's somebody else out there she wants to get a look.
That's her new friend.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so you open the door, and on the other side of the door, obviously in the most upright position you have ever seen him in, which is to say he's still slouched. Whistler stands there, hands behind his back, and his feet kind of properly stood up against, or like heel to heel, and he does a slight bow. You Willow, you get the impression that the shallowness of his bow is because you've told him he doesn't need to do that, so he's that is the closest you'll get to him not bowing, is just like a very, very fast and right, moving on. But he does a very quick, short bow and says, Ma'am, I have been informed by the Queen that I believe you are all on your way out.
Mm,
Is this correct?
Willow just kind of gives a little nod in return to the bow, like she's not gonna fucking win that battle this round for the
And
future.
also, Willow, as you nod and see, you notice standing not quite in the doorway, like not easily visible, but you kind of tilt your head to the side, and you can see that satyr, or at least one of the satyrs you saw last night, like posted up, one hoof against the tree side wall, leaning there, looking like obviously skulking around, or not skulking around, but obviously loitering in this area for some reason. The satyr with curly horns and chestnut hair just standing there, examining something on his fingernails. But he does not say anything. He does not even look at you as you open the door.
Just squint and looks back towards Whistler with kind of just a single arched brow. But if he doesn't seem overly bothered, she's not overly bothered. And just kind of gives a little nod. Uh, Unfortunately, it does seem like we have to head out. Hmm, apparently, not everybody had as good of a night as we did.
he nods very solemnly and says, "'Tis a shame. One would hope that we could have made more time with friends."
She nods. Well, there's always hope for the future, is there not?
He nods, less solemnly this time, and says, "'Tis true, ma'am. Hope for the future, indeed." And you can't see his eyebrows very clearly, but you see like the motion of like a slight eyebrow waves in this coy, knowing gesture in reference to the token that he had given you.
I don't suppose you would be able to accompany us outside of the tree. I mean, the Queen's
He
realm reaches rather far, doesn't it?
there's a moment where you see like a very very tense rigidity hit his frame and like his posture, and he hesitates and shakes his head no and says, "No, ma'am. Unfortunately, my current duties bind me here, though the Queen often sees fit to send me on errands. If my errands happen to cross paths, I may see you again. Maybe in the north side of the wood."
There's the calculation, and then Willow just kind of smiles. Oh, of course. And as long as my welcome has not been completely rescinded, I imagine a few of my siblings might be interested in coming to visit at some point.
Tilts his head, and you can see there is curiosity and interest. "I would be most flattered if ma'am would introduce me to more friends or family."
There's kind of a warm smile, and Willow looks back towards everybody else, looks at the mountain that is Paige under the fucking blankets. Paige, Pierre, come say goodbye to Whistler before we have to be gone. And, I don't suppose I don't remember seeing you watching any of the show last night. Very pointedly calling out the satyr.
From behind the satyr who is standing there, still examining his fingernails, he makes a sort of like flick of the wrist with his hand, and you see what looks like pink dust come off of his sleeve and just kind of fade away. And he looks over and raises an eyebrow. "Hmm. Oh, I was skulking in the shadows. Don't mind me."
Skulking in the shadows, now skulking in the hallway. Pastime, I'm assuming.
There is a very like cheeky, sly grin that creeps across his face, and he doesn't say anything. And but Whistler does pipe up and say, "Pay the troublemaking one no mind, ma'am."
Hmm. Troublemaking ones are always the entertaining ones, at least for the time being. Paige, get out from under the blankets.
Paige bursts out, fully dressed, hair tamed, backpack on. It's like, big gasp as she sees Whistler in the doorway. Fucking full speed ahead. Fucking run, 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 run. Slides to a stop, almost crashing into Willow, but doesn't.
He
She's
bows
like,
to you as well.
she does like a little like curtsy, very quick, very quick. But she jumps back up. It's kind of like she was dead to the fucking world 2 minutes ago, but now she is just. It's as if she took a fucking shot of sugar somehow. But in the 2 minutes from under the blanket, she is just so energetic and back to the fucking hummingbird that she is. And she jumps up with a wave. He's like, Monsieur Whistler.
He the does his bow and says, "Good morning, ma'am. I
Good
have
morning.
come to see you all off, as I have been informed that the Queen no longer's your presence here, unfortunately."
Quick question. So, Herod was the one who explained why, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Ang
okay,
would have explained why that was happening.
okay, okay.
That she got disowned.
Mm-hmm. I imagine Paige understood approximately 25% of it. She got the big picture of no longer welcome here, is disowned. But I imagine the struggle of the poetry is real.
Mm-hmm.
And she just scratches the side of her face with one finger. She's like, yes, there was something, and it's a bit, sad. But we just need to go on now. So maybe we can see you another time.
He nods, kind of looks over to Willow and nods, and also looks back to you and says, "Of." And he cuts himself off. You could tell he was about to say, "Of course," and says, "In the future, if our paths were to cross again, possibly. But my business for the Queen ties me here for the time being."
Mm, Paige just shrugs. He's like, okay, so we just have to come back later then? If you can't leave, then we just swing back.
He gets a little. You can see another slight hitch in his posture, and he looks over to Ang Hared, and I assume everyone else is either mostly packed up or done at this point. And you can all gather around the door and join in the conversation and start to walk down, because Whistler is here to see you all off.
Mm-hmm.
But at that comment of yeah, we'll swing back around, he looks over at Ang and looks back to you, Paige. I think I think not. Perhaps not for a while, shouldst thou swing back.
Hmm. Is that a don't swing back with regards to current company or for all of us, period?
He tilts his head a little bit and then looks over to Angharet again. The Queen has been known to let humans pass through the wood without without any bother. Though humans are, as you can see, uncommon in our domain.
Well, it kind of nods. Just looks towards Paige. Well, we'll manage to get back here at some point. I'm imagining I'm going to be bringing a Miss in here at some point, and, well, knowing him, negotiations will go on for quite a long time. Many shows to be had.
She like kind of pumps her fist up as if like she's ready for all the shows.
And Harriet has been doing that thing where she's like in the room and she's not like saying anything, but she's just kind of hanging out, you know? Um, she will present a small envelope, though. Just take one out from her pack and just quietly waits for a little while.
Is she offering this to Whistler?
She will, yeah, but she doesn't want to interrupt the
Hmm.
conversation.
Well, you're going to have to butt in at some point because
Yeah.
these two will continue to talk to Whistler until there is
Whistler-
no other option to be had.
And Harriet is extremely patient.
So if there's the brief lull in the conversation, Whistler will take a step back and open like a door in that gesture where someone like gestures you out, and he will turn and start to walk and say, "I will see thee off."
Hmm. Willow will step out into the hallway, kind of follow him for a second. The moment she goes by the fucking satyr, she kind of looks from head to toe again. Just had to see the strange humans one more time, huh?
He, mm, you can see a flicker in his eyes, Willow, and there is you're familiar enough with the strangeness of Fae at this point that you can tell he's not doing anything. He is not, for example, like um, casting a spell or doing anything like that, but his eyes, you can see that his eyes are magically different from other Fae. You can see a sparkle or twinkle in his eyes that is not present in the typical Fae that you have seen. Movement or shifting in the colors of his irises that give them a shifting pink and purple color, like clouds or nebulas in space. And he grins and raises an eyebrow. Just keeping my eye on you. I've never seen a human up close. I was curious. And he flicks his wrist and snaps his fingers, and a little pink, more of that pink dust kind of falls off the edge of his wrist and his knuckles.
What is that? What the fuck?
Joe, how can you do this to me?
What the, what the fuck? No, that is Paige's reaction of just the pink dust appears. Does it disappear, or is this guy
Yes.
just piling it on the floor?
It very it almost like a brief, like if you were to let a firework go off and there is a like a misty smoke from the discharge of the fire.
Hmm.
That is what it looks like, where it lingers like a freshly blown out candle, but not super long, and then and it is also like a slight pink and purple tone, and then it disappears. It is very overtly a magic gesture, as if, and the it is not like a like an overt threat, but he is trying to imply something that I don't think any of you would necessarily be able to gather yet.
Mm. Well, either way, there is a soft clap from Paige
He just looks at Paige, and Paige, you see him now. He is a like the affect of this person or this satyr is he has roguish charm. He is not a rogue, but he's got like the cocky attitude and the eyebrow raise. He's got a little bit of scruff on his chin. He's got messy, like dark chestnut hair. He has the long patchwork leather coat, and he is like he holds himself with an air of superiority, and he regards you as you clap and just raises an eyebrow and like this. You think that's impressive? Oh.
God damn it, Joe.
Hmm.
I love that both of us have the exact same reaction to this shit.
We both
What would
knew instantly.
so actually, Aang, you have a lore that might work for this.
I do have a Phalor situation.
You specifically can roll a Fey lore check for me.
Will do. Let me take a look.
$16. Okay. So with the 16, you the the actual like showing of magic, like that showing a human magic, that is a phase way of like it is both a veiled threat of like this person has magical talent and they want to convey to you that they see something in you. There is some subtle gesture of um like, oh, I can tell that you have magic on you too, and you better like fucking stay in line or something. There's some implication, some kind of threat there. But you have a loose knowledge of this Fae. You can't recall his name, at least not his exact name, but you can recall that he is referred to as Doc.
I know his fucking name, man.
And he is certainly a troublemaker, but not in the Fae so much as out of the Fae.
I think Aang would not blow up this guy's spot so much. I think she
Mm-hmm.
would kind of just hang out with the others for a little bit, and just keep an eye on things in case they go left.
He sees you, and there is a like a slight twitch in the eye, like he acknowledges your presence, and like he doesn't know you personally, but he knows of you.
Just,
But he lingers on the wall and will watch you all walk away.
just as they are moving on, like Willow kind of like doing the two hands like gesturing forward to Paige to keep going. Just like I wouldn't do that in front of Paige anymore. She might just be start asking you how to make that dust, and then we're going to be here all day, and it's not going to be good for anybody. What is with you and pink anyway?
He just raises an eyebrow, and he opens his mouth to answer, but before he can, Whistler cuts him off, and there is a like a very very affirmative, or not affirmative. There is a very very firm like whistling from Whistler, and he turns around And there's a brief pause of tension. And he just goes, "Do not encourage the troublemaker."
Just kind of like
Ma'am.
brow arched, looks between the two. Ah, politics. Understood. We'll keep going.
You get the vibe that Whistler and Doc don't get along.
Politics.
But as you start to walk, there's just a little wiggle of the fingers. Um, Need to see something really quickly. Yeah. Yeah, so uh there's as you're walking away, Willow, you hear like in your ear as if someone had just whispered very, very quietly, and they were right beside you. You hear, "I best watch that pale looking one. She can be real nasty when she's hungry."
Kind of this twitch, and her eyes dart towards where she like heard the voice. Doesn't turn her head, like darts in that direction. Doesn't see anybody, and kind of tilts her head slightly, and doesn't say anything because she's good with hearing voices. She's the one that will not react in this group.
And as you all walk back down the sloping stairway of the big atrium inside of the trunk of this tree, right about as you hit the stairs, that mysterious satyr just vanishes into dust. And there are some fae gathered around the exit, seeing the strange humans off. There are, of course, pixies and brownies and other satyrs, um, and just the whole menagerie of people. In the crowd of pixies, or I say crowd, it's more like an actual cloud. There are many of them, and they are small. In the cloud of pixies, you Paige and Willow and Pierre, you can spot Vivette, and you can see that she's waving.
Wiggle fingers
Oh,
at her.
wave back.
But you all walk to the exit, and as you are exiting, and you have this last look at the broad inside and this warm, welcoming, like magical area, Angharad, as you turn around and see, you can look up into the tree and see basically the highest point from wherever you are. And as you look and you see the edges of the trunk like ebb and flow and twist as they go up and up and up, way, way up there, high up there, you see just a single looming shadow looking down from a very, very high perch. But they don't come down. They are content to watch you from here.
If I can get one last thing in before we
Mm-hmm.
get skirted on. Willow like hangs back for a second and turns because I imagine like the furthest one out is Whistler to walk to the gate.
Mm-hmm.
She
Yes.
like turns and offers a hand.
To Whistler?
Yeah.
He stops and looks at your hand, and then looks at you, and he will very slowly reach his hand around and place it directly onto yours.
She'll kind of carefully twist her hand so that they can have a handshake. Another human tradition. And as she pulls her hand away, she'll kind of block with her body. If you will allow me, she kind of twists her hand up and will have a single flower in her hand.
Yeah, okay.
And a gift from a friend and a thank you for keeping a little secret.
He there is a mask on his face. But even with the mask on his face, you can tell he is aghast at the gesture. And he very delicately, like if he touches the flower, it will just crumble into dust. With both hands, he will reach up and take the flower and hold it, like pressing the edges of his palms together so he cradles the little flower. What kind of flower is it?
I imagine it's like some sort of like lily.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So he he just looks at it, and there is, with this very very delicate looking lily, his eyes are wide beneath the mask, and without any hesitation, or well, without any hesitation, after the shock has worn off, he looks up at you and bows his head once, and with his eyes closed, he says, "I am in your debt."
She shakes her head. A gift. And will turn and continue on.
As you turn and continue, there are a couple of Fae who are near enough that they're like not gasping, but they're very much like, oh shit. A little bit taken aback by the fact that you did a thing, and also like he willingly indebted himself to you. That's crazy. Um, but there's still a little bit of a stunned, uh, like appearance to his demeanor, but he shakes it off and begins to walk at his normal pace. And he takes the flower and puts it onto, like, in the way that you would tuck like a pencil behind your ear. He puts the flower there, and you can't quite tell, but just for the sake that you all know, the flower, the stem of it grows into the side of his, like the back of his head, and becomes part of him. And he walks you up to the gate, and the gate to this realm is inherently magical. There is a like a bright wall that you walk into, and as you walk close to it, you feel just even more warmth from the just full wonderment of the Fey world behind you. And Whistler stands right beside the gate and looks to you all. And each of you, he meets all of your eyes and says, "Very well. And do try to keep warm. It has gotten quite cold. And the lady of the wood has offered a small parting gift." And he reaches into one of his sleeves and withdraws 3 little like glass vials. They are very, very ornate. Um, and they sit with a small, like, wooden stopper stuck in each of them. And the glass, like, it looks kind of like a railroad spike that is turned and twisted to make like a really, really fancy spiral. But it is glass, and on the inside you see a very, very fine, like slightly thick reddish liquid. And he offers them to you, Willow.
You slowly take them and like carefully holding like two of them like in one hand, I imagine the other one she kind of like picks up and
Mm-hmm.
tilts one way and the other, kind of examining in the light.
You watch the little liquid inside of this potion bottle, this vial, start to slosh around, and it there is a hum to it, like it has some kind of magical potential to it.
Mm, hold on. I think I have a thing for that. Da-da-da-da. What does cast time 2 mean?
Past
Of
time too.
Yes.
It takes
takes
two
two
actions,
actions.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
But because we're not tracking things by the action right now, because we are in an exploration mode, you are free to just do that because it will only take 12 seconds.
Okay. Uh, okay, so that just shows me that's magical. Would some combination of detect magic and crafting appraisal help?
Yeah, there is literally um an uh an identify alchemy and an identify magic action.
E-
And I believe you do have alchemist's tools. It will take a little bit of time. It takes about 10 minutes for you to properly understand what the thing you are given is. But you can do it. But looking at it, you can tell that this has a magic quality to it in nature. This is from the Fae.
Mm. She just kind of nods her head. Well, we thank the lady for her generosity.
He nods. And he if the so correct me if I'm wrong. I want to rewind for a second here. Uh there were 3 different flowers given to her, the queen.
Yeah, 3 different bouquets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I was going off of just memory. Each one of these is a return in kind to the bouquets.
Okay.
And he nods and says, "I will endear thyself to the queen." And he looks over to Angharad and will take a a very, very tentative step around you all to get over to Angharad. And there is not it is a bit tense. You can see that there is a bit of anxiousness in the way that he is standing before Angharad. The lady wishes to say that she is sorry things had to turn out the way that they did, though she does not begrudge you.
So while people have been having a lovely time, and Herod has been extremely just overwhelmed, and it's been hard for her to walk through this area because she's spent so many years here, so many happy years, and now she's leaving it basically forever. So she's on the threshold and just hasn't really been able to bring herself to talk very much. When she spotted the queen looking down on her, it only made her feel all of these things more intensely. And it's as if she's once more under the compulsion from the previous day with all of the pressure and the gravity of the world weighing down upon her. Just all of the memories and all of the significance of the things that have happened. And she feels it again when Whistler addresses her. And it takes her a moment before she can answer. She's always very reserved in nature, but even more so now. And her eyes drop low. Yes, it is a shame without compare that things must needs have happened this way. Whistler, I prithee, will thou do fuck, sorry. Will you do me one last favor?
He His eyes scan your face and he nods.
And Herod presents him with a small envelope, not really very big. The paper is not super fine quality either. It's yellowed around the edges and clearly very old. And for the astute, there's lines of text on it already, even though she's folded it into an envelope. It looks as if it's been torn from a book. Um, and it's a little thick because being from a book, it can't quite hold an entire page. She's had to fold it to make it fit. And she doesn't have a seal or anything fancy with her. All she can do is really try and origami this page the best she can. She presents this to Whistler. Would you bring this to her? One final token of my affection. 'Tis all I would ne'er dream to expect a return, but 'twould be heavy on my heart if I said not afore I left.
He looks at it and nods, and he will hold out both hands in an accepting gesture. I will grant this simple request.
Angharad will place it very softly and very delicately, the way that somebody might place alms upon his outstretched hands. And then after she's done so, there's a moment of hesitation where she opens her hands, closes them, bites her lip, looks down, looks up again at the very top of the tree, then just quietly takes a breath. Thank thee. I shall look on all thou hast done and this place very kindly.
He nods, and there's a bit of almost like a confused sadness, because before he was suspicious of you, and now seeing how things turned out, and especially after a conversation he had last night, he is he doesn't he seems a bit conflicted. He nods. We here, and he looks to all of the Fae who are probably like 40 or so feet back, watching. Shall miss what we had together. Maybe things will change one day. And he looks back to Willow and Paige. And he looks over to you again and reaches into his coat, or into the sleeve of his coat. And he will pull out a small trinket that is wrapped in cloth. And he he holds it with only 2 fingers. And he hands it to you.
Is that to me?
Yes, to Anghared. And he hands it over and says, "A parting gift from the Queen."
Angharad looks at it, and the amber of her eyes just, there's so much of it because her eyes, her pupils just go so small at the sight of this thing, and she picks it up with reverence. And you said it's wrapped up, right? A small
Yes,
trinket.
it is wrapped in like 3 or 4 times in like a single cloth bag or strand of cloth.
Yeah, she will unwrap it within her hand, still kind of cupping her hand so that it's not exactly obvious what it is inside, but that she can see.
So you unwrap it a little stealthily with the cloth on your hand. You unwrap it to a point and roll me a reflex save.
Oh, that's great. I love that for us.
Anghair, did the queen give you a fucking grenade as a gift?
That would definitely
That'd be
be a
pretty
break of.
funny, not
That would
gonna
be
lie.
such a break of the hospitality rule. That would fucking put war in the Fey Court.
So as you are unwrapping this, there is a moment where you start to feel like, as you're holding it, like you might be able to tell what it is. You think it's no, and then you unwrap it, and as you are kind of holding your hands in an awkward position, there's a singe against the edge of your thumb. And it's not enough to do any damage, but it's enough for you to notice. Like when you touch a like a piping hot teacup for just long enough to know that if you were holding it, it would burn. But that singe catches your attention, and you peel back one last part of the cloth, and you see inside is a metal cross, and inscribed onto it in an old language, which you do know, inscribed onto it in an old language, not Latin, but it would be the equivalent of Sylvan. Uh, in this woodland tongue, you can read the words, "Don't forget."
Angharad is holding this very delicately once the burn starts to try and avoid any further pain. But when she realizes what it is, her mouth opens a little bit. She closes the cloth back onto it. And then she just holds it to her chest for a little bit, holds it over her, like the area of a heart, and just has a quiet little moment of reverence before she bows once to Whistler and once in the direction of the tree. Thank thee. 'Tis a most suiting gift.
He looks at it and nods once. There's a mix of uncertainty because he doesn't necessarily know what he was handing you. He just knows that it was iron. And as you express appreciation, he looks at you with confusion. And he leans in close and he will whisper something to you, Anghared. And you can tell as he leans in, his eyes dart to the rest of the group very, very quickly, and he looks back to you, and like as he's whispering with his face kind of parallel to yours in that way where somebody speaks into your ear by like putting their head beside your head. And he softly says, "Do not hurt them, or I will come for you."
Damn.
And he leans back. And there is Whistler, I will tell you flat out, Whistler is not an adept fighter. He is a scout type, like hand, very, very C-3PO vibe almost. But he speaks with conviction.
Angharad, as they part, will nod her head to him, and she doesn't look away. It doesn't seem to have had very much of an effect on her. Not that she's not frightened of him or doesn't understand the weight and implication of what was said, but more that there's just something else going on for her. 'Tis good counsel. I shall keep it close to my heart.
He nods. And with that, he steps aside, and you are left to the gate. Is there any last things? No?
Mm-mm.
Then you all walk through the blindingly white gate. And let me take you to the correct map. Go here. Boop. As you step through, you are greeted by a rigid wall of air, experiencing the full intensity of a harsh winter morning.
Was it winter when we left?
It was
It is
getting
February.
colder.
Okay.
Mhm. So I remember, fucking Summer warned us the day that we headed to the fucking Fae Court. I'm gonna give you a tip. It's gonna be cold. Well,
Gotcha.
here we are.
Mhm. And there is not an active snowfall, but the air, as you step outside, you you can feel like the bite of cold winter, and you're as soon as you step through the gate, the light vanishes behind you, and you just hear the crunch of boot on snow, and it is, whew, it is brisk.
Willow just
Uh,
frowns, lowers her goggles so at least her eyes aren't cold, and continues to examine these potions.
Paige fucking pulls up her hood. It's fucking cold. Takes out a flask. Takes a shot of whatever the fuck she put in it.
Pierre reaches over and grabs your flask and takes a shot himself.
I
Pierre's
imagine it's
his coat
straight.
is not good enough for this.
I don't know why, but I imagine that like rather than like whiskey or some shit, when Paige puts shit in a flask, it's just like straight tequila or vodka. Yeah, time to warm up.
You all are in the frosty woodland after a snowfall had unfortunately coated the land in a nice hefty frost. So now, now that you are all out here together, what would you like to do?
Figure out what these potions are.
Are you going to hike, or are you going to uh, stop and do that?
Well, I
It'll take
imagine
10 minutes to identify them, but they're all the same, so you don't have to do it 3 times. It'll just be the one time that you do it.
I don't think that Electra and Maddie are going to let Willow just stop for 10 minutes.
You would think right. Further they get away from here, the better.
And
You
we'll
can
have to make
all,
camp at some point, so we can just do that when we camp.
yeah.
Well, you're gonna be hearing the entire, like, fucking mental spiel of everything that it could be the entire time, unless there's something that grabs her attention.
I will say,
Snowball to the face.
if if you want to spend,
Fucking
um,
alchemist, like, textbooks coming out of her mouth.
I will say that you can uh, identify it as you are going, as you are walking. But that would be like an exploration activity, so you wouldn't be able to do an exploration activity as everyone else was doing it for the first like kind of hour of the day of hiking. So what we are doing now, we are going to move fully into an exploration mode here. So I'm going to bring you guys back to this map. And you guys are more closely here.
Mm.
I don't have a cool party token, unfortunately. So you'll have to make do with being a little white dot.
It's okay. It's easier to see.
Hmm. Uh, but you are here. You will need to. Let me go here. Let me see. Na-na-na. Yes, I will need a sense direction roll. So whoever wants to do that for me, I will need someone to sense direction. Um, and then any other exploration activities that you guys would want to do, feel free to shout them out now.
Uh,
Attempts to seek an
I'll either
activity.
scout or avoid notice.
Gain a +1
Angharad,
Probably scout.
Angharad has higher speed, so she might be better as a scout. Um,
Okay.
but that would be her activity. That's usually a survival check.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, could I talk you into letting me use Fey lore instead?
I would be more than happy to let you use Fey lore as your in lieu of the survival check that's normally for scouting.
Mm.
We are in the thick of the Fey woodland here, so you are in your home turf.
All right. Would that count for the sense direction roll as well, or do we need a separate one for that?
I will say that that one will be a separate roll.
Sounds good.
Ha!
All right. I'll just say to have it on the docket.
Mhm.
Paige is gonna like investigate, or if someone wants a little buddy following them around, Peter Parker, Miles Morales style, follow the expert.
Survival, right? For sense direction.
Yes.
That's pretty
Survival
good.
for sense direction. If you have the like compass and tools for anything, that would give you a bonus.
I believe I do.
Anghared, while we are in this part of the woods, Anghared, you are able to use Fey lore and do not need the tools to sense direction. Or rather, you don't suffer penalties without the tools.
All
I
right.
do. I have a compass and an astrolabe, if that helps.
I gave Willow the things that I figured Willow would probably have.
And a map.
Mm-hmm.
I got it all, man.
So, Z, would you like to roll that then? I'd be rolling at a +5.
I'm at a +6 without the bonuses.
Yeah, so you should probably do that then.
Yeah, okay. So sense direction from Willow, and then it would be the scouting from Anghared.
So circumstance bonus of what? +1?
+1,
+2?
yes. So you get a +1 bonus to this.
Watch, because I'm eager to make a roll. It's going to just fucking tell me no.
You'll be fine.
Look at
Look at
that.
that.
You'll be
Look at
fine.
that. That is
That
Look at
roll
that
that.
is
says yes.
an absolute critical success. So
Money.
you are fine. Money. You are able to, with the map and the compass, and dial in a little, like it takes you a second, but you are able to dial in exactly where you are, and you know where you want to go. That would be the next thing, because there is, Ang, Ang, uh, you know where Dee Dee is, and you also, uh, well, yeah, you would know the vague direction of Deep Field. You probably would have gone
Yeah.
near-ish there.
So that's the one thing that they probably would have had to discuss in the hand wavy bit of like, okay, if we're leaving, what the fuck are we doing now?
So I will tell you now. Right about. I don't know how to change the color of a thing. How do I change the color of this? Here we go. So Dee Dee is right there. Not out of the way, but it will be a detour. A slight detour if you wanted to go see Dee Dee.
Is that something that we would like to discuss in character or not?
Please
Oh,
do.
that's gonna be an argument.
Yep. Because
Probably.
people have very strong opinions on this. And by people, I mean me. I am peoples.
I think everybody has strong opinions on this one.
Yep.
Well, as a party, above table, what would you guys like to do? 'Cause that is the other thing.
Unfortunately, in and out of character, I am in agreement. Willow and I agree. We want to go see fucking Dee Dee.
Yeah, seeing Dee Dee is expeditious for us. Even though it's a detour, I think it saves us more time in the long run. However, she does eat people.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm on the opposite boat of Z. Both I and Paige do not want to see Dee Dee.
I will remind you, Dee Dee is currently in mega jail where she cannot get out.
Right? How do you track without releasing her from mega jail?
Oh yeah, but she like that's the
there is
the
no harm in
clincher.
going to see her.
Rule
No,
number
but when
one:
we
if
see her,
somebody dangerous is in jail, they're going to get out of jail at some point during the story. That's just roleplay. Roleplay rules number 278. They're gonna bust out while we go visit. Let's be real here.
yeah, well, I feel like if we go visit, well, we're here, we might as well. Fucking nah, fuck that shit.
I am in agreement with Cage. Let's
Cage.
not go to the man-eating bay.
Apparently you're not, because there's not a cage in the party.
Are you talking about like keeping her in the cage, or are you talking about Paige?
Rage.
So that's 2 votes for Dee Dee, 2 votes against. Iris, what are you feeling?
Oh God, don't put this on me.
I'm afraid you have to vote.
You saved. You didn't speak first. You put yourself in this position.
I was hoping it would be unanimous before it came to me. Okay.
Huh.
When have
There
we
was no
ever been
chance of it being
unanimous?
unanimous.
Okay, not
Yeah,
unanimous, but like majority.
Iris. Since Dee Dee came up, the party has been split.
It's split pretty cleanly down the middle at that.
Yeah, it comes down to Maddie.
I will say,
If we had to choose, if we had to choose.
regardless of whichever way the vote goes, we will all be amenable to the decision as
Yes,
per democracy rules, I
yes,
guess.
of course, of course. No salt. Fair voting.
It'll be interesting either way.
We're gonna get a fight either way because Joe wants us to fight something.
Yes.
Mhm.
That is the other thing is I on the way I am going to give you guys an encounter so that you guys
Yeah,
have a
there's gonna be
chance
a
to try
monster
out.
sitting right here, no matter where.
See, the thing is, because we already had this like in character talk, and Maddie was going to agree to see Dee Dee. But after this kind of incident with the queen, I don't know if she wants to even chance it.
Is that a vote against?
Is that a vote against?
Dee or
Thinking,
not to Dee?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I've been sitting on that one for a while. Had to get out of my system.
well, I mean, we didn't leave the Fey Court in a. I mean, the circumstances weren't positive,
Mm-hmm.
but like we weren't chased out per se, right?
Correct. You were not chased out, but you are not going to be invited back.
Yeah.
We weren't chased out. We weren't harmed, except for
Yeah.
Aang emotionally.
Aang is emotionally scarred for life.
But I feel like Aang's been emotionally scarred for life a couple of times over at this point.
She's got a lot of scar tissue.
She's
Aw.
um
Her own
I
special
will
type of
say
traumatized.
to make sure that it was very clear when the implication at one point was put towards Whistler of like, hey, could we come back later? I mean, is that everyone coming back or just no Aang? um Without Aang, the group the group of you would not have a Fae who would be an envoy.
Mhm.
And Whistler's not going to invite you back because he does not like to ask for things from the queen. Uh, so there would be
That's smart.
the door would not be open to the human, just
Yeah.
the relative human.
Mm.
Angharad was a very, very special case.
It's not gonna stop Willow
Um,
from trying and going knock knock on a root like, hey, I got some more
You
friends.
the
you can absolutely try.
the thing that I think is like convincing Maddie on here is that we have something like we have a proper deal for when we see Dee Dee. Something that's very
Something that Dee Dee wants very much.
Which is just to get
What
out,
does DD
essentially.
want?
yeah, but
Yeah.
wasn't the whole thing to have like stipulations so that Dee Dee couldn't just go on a murdering rampage or whatever? It's kind of the
Hmm.
point.
Mhm.
He's gonna find a loophole around that.
So I will tell you,
So what I'm hearing here is never try.
I will tell you, there is a thing that the hunters and Anghared would be very aware of. There is a thing called bargaining in good faith. And if you explicitly state that when you are wanting to make a deal with the Fae, you like express, I would like to bargain in good faith with you at like about X, Y, and Z. If you are establishing that this is a good faith argument, or not argument, agreement, then that Fae, if they are amenable to dealing in good faith, that is like a magical promissory note that binds them so that they will not do the cheaty loophole thing. What they try to do is take advantage of humans, like some Fae, not all, but some Fae will take advantage of humans by saying, like, yeah, if you make a deal with me, I have to play by the rules. But in the same way that when a random pirate shouts parlay in Pirates of the Caribbean, if you say bargain in good faith, then the Fae will inevitably at least hear what you want to offer because that is a constraint that prevents them. Like if you say no eating people, then she's not going to be like, well, weirdlings are half people, so I'm technically not eating a person. They won't do that.
Mm.
That is that is antithetical to bargaining in good faith. And when a Fae makes a promise, they stake their power on it, their nature and their being. It is more than just lip service. It is a magical contract that will very, very rigidly bind them. So if you want to make a deal with this potentially dangerous person and you force them to bargain in good faith and you establish very clear terms, there is a very, very good chance that you will both walk away satisfied and there will be no lines crossed. The other thing about dealing in good faith is that you have to earnestly try to give them something they want. It wouldn't be like, let's bargain in good faith. You do this thing for us and then go back to jail.
Hmm.
Because that's Dee Dee would be like, well, no.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I
I want it to be a little bit of a challenge, but I will establish that you guys don't have to worry about cheaty loopholes, provided you are bargaining with her in good faith.
Maddie's thoughts on this. would be we've already backtracked to go see the queen, and that amounted to nothing. If we're going to deep field, passing by Dee Dee is at least going in the same direction.
Mm.
So we can at least give it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I am voting to see Dee Dee.
Voting 2D?
Oh my god.
2D.
That's 3 votes yes, 2
Votes are
votes no.
in.
The votes are in.
2D wins.
Okay. Enghared, can you please give me your scouting roll?
Will do, boss.
And you are using Phalor for this.
Yeah, correct. Oh no. I'd like to re-roll that.
You yep, go right ahead.
That was unfortunate.
That's
There
That's a
you
lot
go.
better.
That is significantly better. So, sense direction. Okay. Oh, you don't actually have to make a roll for scouting. That's fine. I will let you keep that result in lieu of something that ends up coming later because you re-rolled it and it is a significantly high roll. So I think it is only fair
I
that you
will
get to
bank
keep a
it.
23.
I would like to avoid notice. DM.
Cool. Avoid notice.
Mm.
Let's see. Scout ahead and watch for danger. And then avoid notice. Okay, so if you are avoiding notice, the whole group is moving at half speed right now, so this is okay. Who else is going to try to be stealthy here?
I mean, unless you like, if there's like good reason to, Paige would rather investigate while they travel.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. What would you like to? What type of lore skills would you try to use to collect information about your surroundings?
I didn't think of that.
Well, think about it. Maddie, what are you doing?
So if I'm understanding this right, I can subsist and try and get us stuff so we don't die in the cold.
I believe so. Let me subsist. Downtime.
Isn't it?
So I technically think that you can't subsist while you are exploring because it is a downtime activity.
Hmm. Okay. Let me go back then.
Mm-hmm.
I'll switch my avoid notice to investigate as well, if that'll help.
Okay. Okay.
Because I will say, I'm looking here. You don't fucking. The only lore skill Paige has is theater and Terramarked. So unfortunately, I don't think she can investigate.
I would be willing to hear your argument if you had one for a different skill that wasn't a lore skill, but for the moment, I will assume that um, it'll be Anghared scouting, looking for danger. Willow is giving directions and
And checking out the potion.
checking out the potion.
Okay, just give me a second. Is it possible that Paige could use? I don't know what the difference is for like occultism or arcana, but essentially, like, she just saw and came from a place full of fucking magic.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like she'd keep an eye out to see, like, where else is it? Is it outside of the Fae court? Can I find it in everyday life? You know, is
So
it just out of sight? I feel like that's what she would want to look for.
So there is an exploration activity called Detect Magic.
Would I need to have the detect magic spell? Is that a spell here?
There is a spell.
Mm-hmm.
There is a cantrip for Detect Magic. But
So
there
say
is.
I don't got it.
I will say that if you for specifically trying to detect magic as you are exploring, I will say that you aren't, since you don't have the cantrip, you are going by. I will let you roll occult and keep an eye out for specifically things that seem to have a magical nature that you can just tell by the naked eye. Like, you're not going to scan for magical auras, but I think it's fair to say that if you see something that is sufficiently magic-y looking, you'll be like, ooh, that looks like a thing, you know?
Okay.
And I will let you roll occultism for that, because that is like your specialty, specifically type, or your specific bard specialty.
Okay.
So that's 1, 2, 3. Investigate, detect magic, and Maddie.
So we don't have anyone searching, right?
Correct.
Would that work in the wild? 'Cause it's like searching for hidden doors, hazards, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right now we have Paige, who is currently looking for magic things. If you want to search to look for danger, just vague
Yeah.
dangers, you can search
Okay.
while Angharad blazes a trail. If you don't, I will say, since Angharad rolled a 23, you could use your banked 23 to count that as Maddie's search roll.
I'm willing to do that if you are ours.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because that's a pretty solid roll. Then yeah, that is, everyone has their respective corner filled.
Wait.
So
Actually,
okay.
sorry.
What's up?
At least for this, maybe covering tracks would be better. Thoughts,
That?
friends?
Okay.
Especially since we're just leaving the Feywild, I feel she'd be a little paranoid. Are you guys cool with that, friends?
If you'd like,
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'd like to do that instead.
Cover tracks. Okay. I'm going to just, I want you to know that I imagine Maddie is covering their tracks by using her tail as a broom and dusting the snow. I don't know if that's what you want it to be flavored as, but like that's where my mind
That's
went.
fine. That's
And
fine.
I like it a lot. It's very cute. Um
Just
anyway.
I also imagine Maddie just randomly running in a different direction just to make tracks and then like looping back to the group or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes, shoot.
Sorry, but I'm looking at this list and there's the exploration activities, there's a table, exploration activities, and then below that is another table for skill exploration activities.
I believe any of those are valid.
Okay.
Because some of them were added in a different book.
Okay. That is all.
Yes. Um, yes. So you guys end up traveling for a good amount of time, and walking through the fresh snow. It is debilitating. Uh, you end up walking. I think you can walk several miles in a day. Um, and how far is it? It's about 4-ish days. Just round down to 4 days. Uh, and you are moving at half speed because you're trying to move carefully. Paige, go ahead and roll me your occultism as you are wandering through the woods looking for magic-y things.
All right.
Nice.
21.
That's pretty good. Um, walking through the woods, it is a stark difference from how it was before when you were just yesterday walking through the woods, still with the bitter coldness that was there, but it was less harsh because there wasn't also just the thick layer of snow on the trees and on the ground. But as you are hiking, you hear the crunch of your feet, and you hear like the distant wind blow, and a little bit of that freshly fallen sleet just kind of kicks up around the top layer of snow. Um, it is it's very ominous. You know when that freshly fallen snow hits and everything is just kind of muted. There's just an intense quiet of the morning after a snowfall. There is that quiet all throughout the wood, and when you look in different directions, you see this conflicting but still very real contrast between the darkness of the trees where they are grown in heavily, but the bright white of the snow. But you all march on, uh, and it is very very chilly. I would like fortitude saves from everyone, and Willow, I'm gonna drop some stuff in your inventory
Oh boy.
because you identified those little guys.
Fortitude saves. Ah.
Ooh.
Maddie, no.
You have a point. Just in
The
case
hero point
the
thing,
yeah, you have a hero point if you want to re-roll that fortitude save.
and hero points are essentially like inspiration, right?
Yes, they are
Okay.
like inspiration.
And we get one every time we level up, right?
At the start of every
You get
session.
one. Yeah, you get one at the start of every session, and you
Ah.
can hold up to
Oh.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll re-roll.
Yeah, you get hero
Healing
points a lot more
potion.
frequently than other things. Yes, you got 3 minor healing potions, which heal
Oh, I could have told
1d8.
you that. It was red.
I
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
but technically
I
you
know.
have
I
to still
know.
fucking.
I know. I know.
If
Just being a little
if
shit. Don't
if
worry.
this is like 4 days, right, of walking,
Mm-hmm.
which means we have like 4 like nights of rest.
Yep.
Can I figure out how to make a healing potion?
You can, if and only if you Z look up the rules for crafting healing potions.
I
So
can do
you
that.
you go and do your willow research. um, but as you are hiking, uh, it is very fatiguing. Over this first day, Maddie, you like on several occasions you are hustling to like run and do fake tracks in a different direction, and then clean up your tracks, and then go and catch up with the group again, and you are really tiring yourself out. Such that like after doing that for hours and hours and hours, you finish the day fatigued. You are very tired.
Oh no.
But there are multiple days of rest, so you guys will have an opportunity to rest and recover HP.
Are multiple people tired, or is it just Maddie?
Just Maddie.
What? Can I ask why?
Because her fortitude save was shit. Right?
Yes. Oh, I see. Anghared is also an 11. Yes. So Anghared as like scouting ahead, but then having to make sure to double back so that the group could like keep up with you, so that you're trying to kind of be in two places at once, scouting ahead and then waiting, and then like running back and then scouting ahead a little bit more, making sure everything is good, doing very very well at keeping a wide like area scouted out. You two would end the day and be a little bit more tired than you otherwise would be.
All right.
But you guys have a night of rest, and the fatigue condition goes away when you rest in the evening. So we'll do one more round of that for the following morning. And it is just as cold as it was before, but this time there is a biting wind. So everyone go ahead and make me one more fortitude save.
Yeah, no. We're using that hero point. Here, using that hero point. I knew
Very
it had
consistent.
to come at some point. And I did it again.
Oh
Cool.
no.
Ow.
You
Oh.
you jinxed it. You jinxed it real bad.
That is
It's
rough,
fine.
buddy. Wait. Do you want to use my 23?
Didn't you already give that to Maddie?
Nope. So I
No,
did
she
cover
didn't
tracks
use it
instead.
because she was covering tracks.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to use my 23, you can.
If you're willing to give it, that's a 23.
Yeah, take my 23.
Okay. So Anghared, this cold wind, I will say you can avoid getting the fatigued condition if you take 1d6 of fire damage and clutch that religious icon like in a moment of like as you're hiking back and forth and that wind starts to bite and you do feel it, and it is just harsher than normal, and there is almost like a sad melancholic loneliness to it.
Sad, melancholic loneliness is inherits like a whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that. Do you want me to roll the d6 or will you?
You go ahead, you roll
Oh boy, oh boy.
If you ever wanted to roll a 1, now's the time.
it.
Four's not
That's
bad.
fine.
I'll take 4.
Yeah, there you go. So you clutch that symbol, and you clutch it to your bare hand, and there the wind drowns out the sound of the sizzle as you hold it against your skin. But you're so cold and your hand is so numb that even though it is searing the top layer of your skin, you you don't really mind it. You don't want to forget.
So, Kira, I noticed you had a -1 to your constitution there, buddy. What's your HP at?
9.
Fine.
Hey.
Don't worry about it.
I think your solution is to just not get hit.
That is indeed my solution.
Okay.
There's things that I wanted to have Willow talk to fucking Aang about, though.
You are free to chat before I start this combat, because I
Yeah,
would
if
not
you'd
say
like, go for
no
it.
to a little bit of extra roleplay, because I think you guys should do that in this role playing tabletop game.
Because, like, as soon as, like, Willow is not distracted by, ooh, shiny potion, what is this? And has the opportunity to squirrel Angerad away, she has some questions.
Fair enough.
Mhm.
I imagine it's like as camp is being set up or some shit one of the nights. It's just like, I think Angerad and I can actually go get some wood for the fire. Because we need fire to stay warm, and just like push.
It can also be because Angharad, I imagine, is just going to be the one keeping watch at night forever. So it can also be a late night chat.
This is
No,
true.
they're going to get wood.
All the best conversations happen when you go to get wood.
Mhm.
All
Away
right,
from the
we're
party.
going out to get wood.
Just like quiet for the first little bit, as like genuinely trying to find sticks just long enough that it's like, huh, maybe she just really did want to do the firewood collecting tonight. And then you just get this, so there was an interesting little whisper as I was leaving, or as we were leaving the court.
Angharad doesn't say anything. She just keeps gathering wood because why would anyone lie?
Hmm. Hmm. Just kind of like tilts her head, looking at up and down.
Like Aang's listening. She's just gathering wood.
I would almost call it a warning, and I'm going completely wrong with this. Fuck it.
Super.
It sounded something more like a warning, if I'm going to be honest, but something about you getting hungry.
When wood, like Angharad is just collecting wood, minding her own business, listening, but not really saying very much of anything. As she's a fairly quiet person, as the party would have probably come to realize at this point. But when uh, Willow mentions hunger, she doesn't quite drop the stick, but she does stop as she reaches for the next one. And she turns to Willow with the bundle of sticks in her hands. I suppose they did seem fond of thee there. Hunger is a most terrible thing.
Hmm. See, the reason they liked me is I understood the roundabout way that all of you seem to talk. What are you dancing around?
I happen to be standing quite still.
Yes. You know what I am saying. You're not a stupid woman. Certainly too old to be stupid.
And Herod will just take a moment. She's clearly thinking. What is it thou wouldst know?
Hmm. Why was it implied that you would be dangerous when you're hungry? Particularly dangerous, seemingly, to me or to somebody else in the party.
They say hunger can warp a person's personality quite drastically. 'Tis the same for me. A very drastic warp.
Just kind of a slow tilt of the head, kind of observing. And a hunger of what sort?
Is this truly something thou wishes to know in detail? Is it not enough simply to be good company, to watch over thee in the wee hours?
Certainly you've been around me long enough to know that I must question everything. It is a failing of my nature.
Ah, natures. Yes, I know very much about natures. Thou mayst call this hunger a failing of my nature, but that would not be entirely accurate.
Angerad's just kind of getting that, like, very hard, well, not like hard angry, but just like intense stare of like, continue.
And Herod is quiet for a long time, I imagine. Like, there's a standoff here. As Herod just doesn't, she doesn't pick the sticks back up again. She doesn't return to that. That would be rude. It would be rude to do that. But she does not like this question. And she would rather not answer it. So she just stays in the quiet for a little bit and then sighs. Truly, the issue of what this Angharad consumes does so trouble thee.
Trouble might be the wrong word at this point. The fact that you are so determined not to answer has become something more about principle now.
Principle, Angharad repeats. Then she stops for a moment. There's another small span of silence. And she's beginning to realize, as I think it's beginning to set in, because I imagine that Willow hasn't really looked away at all.
No.
She's not backing down.
This is essentially a noblewoman who is used to getting her way, and for all of her ADHD ass like tendencies, can't sit down and hyper focus on something for 48 hours.
Exactly, like Herod has flipped the hyperfocus switch. Will thou make to me a promise?
Depends on the terms of that promise, as we have recently discovered.
And Herod winces. 'Tis a simple promise. Dost thou swear not to discuss the matter with Madigan? Unless, of course, the Angharad should fall dreadfully ill.
As long as it is not anything that I think concerns anybody else, I won't discuss it with anybody until it becomes an issue.
This is on the first travel night, right? Not the
Yes.
second travel day.
Yes.
Okay, that actually is important.
How hungry is she?
Tomorrow she's going to be very peckish. Angharad, again, a long period of silence and of extreme stillness as well. Just unnatural levels of stillness. Then I hunger for many a thing, in the manner of daughters of Eve and sons of Adam. I may sup upon flesh, but there are stipulations.
And those stipulations are.
It must be fresh, very fresh, and should flesh be hard to come by, there are other things which might sate it for a small matter of time. I beg of thee, understand, we are not speaking of a small quantity of flesh.
Willow's kind of, you see the gears turn for a second as she goes from this kind of like haughty, straight back look of like, okay, we're going to get answers now, to the head tilt. As she's looking over Angerad again. So, you are not faking then?
I am Angharad. Long have I been beloved. Thou mayest call me a fae. I did for many a year dwell among them, and I am bound by their law. But there are no others like me.
No. The way it sounds, you are much closer to fucking what were we calling vampires? Blood drinkers? Or some word.
No good
I was
bloodsuckers.
fucking. I was muted. To answer your question, cold blood, blood drinker, pale blood, any of those work.
You sound something closer to being like the blood drinkers.
Blood has been known to sate me on occasion. But 'tis not the only such thing.
As soon as you say that, like the like standoff is immediately broken, and fucking Willow steps closer, reaches out to grab Angerad's hand.
Oh god. I'll allow it.
She like first starts to examine, realizes there's a glove, makes a face, looks up, and like I imagine Angerad still wearing the fucking veil?
She would probably, when she's traveling and scouting, be in armor. But if she's in the camp, then I think she would be in her more casual clothes with a veil.
So yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, veil.
She just kind of like looks up at Angerad and like reaches to like lift the veil instead. Do you have the teeth like Vincent or the nails like the doctor?
And Herod just stares flat at her. I dislike being studied.
There's kind of this pause, like arch of brow.
You could try to get a look at her mouth while she's talking if you want.
Yeah, she probably would like realize like, hey, no, this is the bad reaction. And she kind of like leans back a little bit. sound as if there's been some sort of ill experience with it before.
Something of the nature. I dislike human questions. They lead to places most terrible.
Don't you think mine will?
I cannot know for certain.
You said you're bound by the laws of the Fae, then.
That is correct.
There's just this kind of mischievous smirk. Well then, perhaps you would be more comfortable with a deal.
Slight head tilt.
A secret for a secret.
I find that amenable.
And with the caveat that perhaps you would be willing to answer my questions if you find the secret worthwhile.
Thou art amongst humans, passing strange.
But I am not quite human myself.
More severe head tilt. This has gone from like this is now in cat who has heard something they think is a mouse territory of attentiveness.
And Willow will just smirk and reach out beside her and will use like a portion of the magic she has to use for like timber to grow like a tiny little sapling in the middle of the snowy woods.
And just almost just the snap of a finger with a teensy bit of will, you watch as Willow does something that you understand no human to be able to do.
Ingrid is once more quiet for a little while as she studies this little sapling. Then she kneels down next to it, leans closer to it, and then now, Joe, this worked in Genesis for the Genesis write-up of this. If Ingrid eats this, does that count as a snacky? Not a full meal, but a snacky.
I would think so. I would think so because magic does have the power to sate that urge.
Did we just discover endless snackies for Ankara?
Yeah, Ingrid just quietly pulls the sapling from the ground and then opens her mouth and eats it. Willow, do you watch her eat it?
Yes. I imagine both
Well,
Willow
of course
and
you fucking do.
I imagine there's kind of this like lean forward, like squint watching, and then there's immediately, though you can't see it, Summer immediately behind also lean forward, squint watching.
Gets out the little notepad and everything. So as Ingrid reaches out to eat this thing, the gold of her eyes grows and seems to take up like most of it, such that there's almost no pupil and no sclera. And when she reaches out, she is wearing gloves actually, so never mind that. Scratch that. But her teeth seem very, very long and very sharp as she's reaching for this small little sapling. And It's strange because it's just like a single stem and a couple of leaves, but she does open her mouth quite wide in order to eat it. And as she's swallowing it, there's a subtle, like, golden glow that you can see shining through the fabric of her very fine traveling dress. You can see it also running up the course of her throat and her trachea. Um, it's like it's illuminating her from the inside, and her eyes glow a little bit, and then she has just a moment of not full relaxation, but there's a moment of palpable relief on her.
And then in that silence, you just hear, fascinating.
In this moment of a bit of secrets unveiling themselves, you hear from a voice that you haven't heard from in a while,
Oh no.
Willow. You hear from Winter. In the dull, soft settling of snow as you are off, quote unquote, collecting wood, Winter shows up beside you and curiously raises an eyebrow. Roll me a lore check with Inner Winter. This will be more challenging, but you are good at this.
Don't say that. After I rolled 2 ones in a row, you can't say that.
Hey, there you go. So I will award you both one hero point because in this is a really cool little role play scene, and in this moment, the Inner Winter looks a little like cautious and curious. One hand on her elbow, the other hand kind of dangling near her chin, and she goes, "This one is interesting. All the parts of a fae, and all the parts of, well, at least all the fun parts of a cold blood. But I don't see anything about her that makes her stand out as a human. Are you sure she's a weirdling?"
And there's kind of eyes dart towards Winter, and then back towards Anchorhead, and the
This
squint.
this this invisible Winter just traces around her. Her feet step in the snow, and you see and hear the crunch of snow on the underneath her feet, but there is no actual crunching of snow. There is no one there.
Was that Eggherid hears the crunching of the snow?
No, that was Willow.
Uh-uh.
Willow
Okay,
hears
okay.
the crunching, but it's not actually crunching. It's kind of her brain understanding, like, that's where she is, but she's not really there, but she's there to me.
Did you? So, when you say flesh, it's quite a broad term then.
Yes, very broad. But I did say there were other ways.
Is the queen truly your mother? By blood and birth?
By whose blood?
So I'm assuming the father is a cold blood then.
Jeopardy theme music starts playing in Kira's head. My father dwells within the heavens.
And there is a step closer back into like the a little bit into the personal bubble again. She's kind of looking at Aang, closest to being able to meet Aang like face to face, I think, out of the group. You're not a weirdling, are you?
Angharad, her face is still kind of, it has a strange cast to it still. There's a touch of that glow from when she was eating. And she just quietly shakes her head.
Hmm. Interesting. What did you gain from eating that sapling?
What does anyone gain from eating?
But it's not the nutrition of the plants that you were seeking.
No need for nutrition, have I? Only to feed.
What? Not simply magic if you're wanting flesh. Energy, perhaps?
Angharad will let out a soft sigh. I know not what to call it. Never have I claimed to be a scientist of any persuasion. I know only that when I hunger, 'tis a terrible thing, a painful, awful, cold thing.
And when you hunger, is it able to be sated by, say, animal?
A very large animal, yes.
Hmm. And if you're unable to eat that, I'm assuming that is when the supposed need to watch you comes.
I am always able to eat. 'Tis a matter of finding something appropriate.
Hmm. Which would explain part of why you have such issue with traveling with people, no?
Part, though, most of it has little to do with the hunger or to do with the people.
And that sapling that you ate, does it curb the hunger?
It dulls the edge of the knife, but the knife is still there.
Hmm. Then perhaps we've figured out some solution to keep me from needing to worry about you then.
Thou needst never worry for thy Angharad. One way or another, there is always something to eat.
Hmm. Which is why I know I don't need to worry for you.
Angharad will just soft smile of, you got me there.
If, as you like to say this, as if the knife is a little too sharp, and it has been a little too long and too hard to find what you need, perhaps a little magic can dull the edge until you can find something appropriate that is not in one of the tents of our camp.
Angharad will just knowingly look at her. It does seem as if an arrangement can be made between the two of us.
Wonderful. Does your jaw unhinge, by the way?
As you ask that next question, there's like a blistering gust of wind that just kicks up a wave of a thin wave of snow, but enough to send a shiver down your backs as you are reminded of the actual need for firewood.
And Angharad will just gather up her sticks. Perhaps next time, questioner.
Yeah, you can still answer the questions until we get back to camp in the hearing range of one Madigan. She will continue
Very,
to pester you with questions until she thinks you might be in hearing range, whether Anchor answers or not.
very fair.
Okay. Well, if you all would like to have a written role play at some point later, you are free to have the brief interlude of Q&A with Angharad yet again.
When will I have my Q&A with Angharad?
A life-changing Q&A with Angharad.
Round 3.
Oh. But alas, you get back, and that was on the first day, correct?
Yes.
That was the first
Okay.
night.
The first night. Okay, great. So you end up continuing later, and I will leave narrative space for the fun that you will have in between then and now uh, for the written role play. But here, let me do this. I need to highlight all you, and I'm going to run this macro. 2. Schlorp. Automatic ration consumption, baby. Automation is so fucking good.
That is really sick.
That's
It's
really
super sick.
cool.
Now I
However,
don't.
part of me is like, how fucking dare you? Not my rations.
So,
Who said I
as
actually wanted to
you.
eat today?
Yeah, right?
I have a question, I guess.
Yes, for subsisting when you are at camp.
Yeah, because the whole foraging thing is to, like, have food and
Yes.
find shelter.
You can roll for that now, and if you succeed, I will say that you can replenish the rations that you would spend otherwise.
Sweet.
And you're rolling at a -5 because you are doing this at the end of the long hike, but you are also you have forager.
Yeah. So I just roll survival, correct? And then put
Mm-hmm.
-5. Okay.
Yes.
Find the skill page again.
It is
Survival.
the hand.
Yeah.
There's also that neat little bar that goes across the top of the page.
How do I is it circumstance?
Yes, circumstance.
Modifier -5. And it won't let me put the minus for some reason.
If you can't,
No.
that's fine. You can just roll it and we
There
can
we
do
go.
the retroactive. Oh, nice.
Whew.
Oof. You have a hero point.
No, I do not.
Oh, you don't? Oh, you don't?
Nope.
Well,
But
unfortunately, but
just double checking this. While using survival to subsist, you roll any result worse than a success, you get a success.
there you go. So you got a success.
And I can provide subsistence for yourself and 4 other creatures.
So one person does not get a snack.
The one who's already had a snacky.
And Harriet's already had a snacky.
Notice Angharad did not lose a
Yeah.
ration.
It
Yep.
was Willow, Paige, me, and Electra. So that's 4.
Yes.
So
There you go. You're actually set then. I will leave it up to you all to go in and replenish the rations that were spent.
Give us our fucking
Or
ration back.
one of the rations, I believe.
Yep.
Can you roll me one other? Well, actually, no, because you can't get less than a success, can you?
correct.
Okay, so you can replenish both of the rations. But as you are setting up for camp and enjoying your downtime, the brief moment of collecting things and so on and so forth, I am going to jump right into it. All of you are going to roll me a perception check. But do so, go into the combat thing. What the fuck? Winnie, what are you doing? Sorry, I heard the squeal and crunch of metal.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and
Yo,
he's climbing
check
on the
your cat.
fireplace. You're being a weird little goober ass.
What are you rolling?
So up at the top of your
Uh,
page where you see the little page icon, it's kind of floating. Click that, and then click the like dice rolly thing that pops up.
mhm.
Which thing?
So like
Top
when
of the
you
page, all the tokens.
uh-huh.
The little dice on the top of your token.
It's on top of my token.
So click on the dual swords, and then click the dice that is next to your little guy.
I'm not sure why it rolled
got it.
diplomacy for me.
Why did it roll diplomacy for you?
I saw the thingy on my token and I hit the thingy that was on my token, and the thingy was diplomacy, I guess.
She's going to
Huh.
reason.
Maybe that's a feature that did it. You may have a feature that does so.
I may. Let me look. Because the thing is, if there's something above my token, I can't quite see it. There's like something that's cut off by the top of the page.
Oh.
If you hover over, there should be little bars on the left. You can just drag it down.
I think I may be too dumb for this at present. Sorry about that.
No,
So-
that's totally okay.
You can
It's okay.
go to my Twitch stream. You can see me do the shit. Go to my Twitch stream.
Good. That's good tech. I'll go over there right now.
Hey! Stop! What the fuck?
Hi.
See, that doesn't pop up for me.
There should be these 3 little lines right here that you can move shit around.
All right, hold on. Oh, the little hamburger menu. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hamburger menu.
That's what it's called.
That's so funny.
I'd never heard that term before, but I believe you.
That's the official word for it.
I did.
I love it.
I didn't think about it as a hamburger literally ever, but that's very funny.
Okay, I
But
dragged it down, yeah. And I just see the single dice that says 17.
Yeah, I guess your initiative is diplomacy rather than perception. Because it says it as initiative on your thing.
It sure does.
I mean, you can change it to perception. Just I guess at some point, it may have gotten flipped. Maybe that was me by mistake. Who knows?
My sheet says perception for
The fuck?
initiative. So I don't
That's fine. You can re-roll with perception if you'd like.
The fuck?
Okay, we'll do.
Whoops.
Yeah, you make an arrow.
Did it roll? There you go. There you go. Because you're an expert at perception. That is much different. So I don't know if that changed your current, but that was a 20. So I will update your initiative to 20. But
Thank
you
you.
are
Sorry.
all... No, you're totally fine. You are all totally fine. But you are all hanging out and enjoying the camp as you all wind down, getting ready, just about bedded down. Well, not just about bedded down, but like you are setting up camp and getting ready to like bed down, as in getting preparing, like unpacking and getting tents and everything. So you are all still wearing your armor and such. But as you are doing that, there is an ever so slight rustle. The 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 soft telltale rustle of steps in the snow.
Maddie's ears will perk up.
Yeah. So you, Maddie, and you, Angharid, and you both hear that crunch very clearly. And with a 22, Madigan, since you also have like very acute hearing, I will tell you that you can tell that whatever made that footstep crunch is very, very distinctly small. What is your dexterity, Madigan?
My sheet is being a little weird right now, so I can't see my full sheet for some reason.
Oh,
So I'm
Plus
gonna
2.
refresh real quick.
Yes. But it is +2.
Okay.
These guys are only slightly higher. Uh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm back in.
Okay. So your ears prick up and you see this little guy who I don't know if he's visible.
He's on the
Yeah,
initiative,
he's on the initiative.
but
Here.
there he
He
is.
pops up. And you hear that crunch, and as you all realize what's happening, just a touch too late, as this little guy holds out his hands, and you see he is a small, like, gremlin-sized and gremlin-looking kind of thing. He holds out his hands, and he is going to cast a spell. I am going to need 5-foot emanation. He can hit everyone but Paige. Oh, wait, no, never mind. It has to be on him. Okay.
What the fuck is he casting?
He steps up on top of this log, and you hear some kind of like, language that you don't know. And then there is a heavy weight that seems to start pressing into the area around him. And that will be 2 of his actions. And he is going to use his third action. He is going to try to hide in this area around him, because there's like a log and a tree and shit. He's going to jump behind a log, and maybe he'll hide. There's the result to your perceptions. Yeah. Okay. So he casts something, and there's a slight depression in the snow around him. And he ducks back down, and you hear the rustle of the log and leaves. As there's just a weird little blue guy near here. And then another one comes out.
Another one.
Another one.
So as I am looking at my shit really fast,
Yes.
are these considered medium creatures?
They are small creatures.
Fuck you.
And
Clarifying, are we fatigued still?
no.
Okay.
And no, because this is the second day. And Angharad took the damage so that she would not be fatigued. This guy is going to pop up, and he is going to use one action to stride, and he will stride up here. He's going to use another action targeting you, Madigan. He is going to try to hit you with his little sword. He pulls out a very, very measly looking sword. And when he swings and misses, like, he runs up to you, pulling out. It is very ramshackle. There's no guard on it. It is just about like a glorified stabbing utensil. But he runs up and like makes some horrible guttural hissing noise and tries to stab, but you quickly like get out of the way, and it is an untrained stabbing, so you're not caught off guard by this, despite him jumping out and surprising you. He's going to then use another action to stride. Oh, he's seeing that did not work. He's going to run away. He'll stride, and he'll get behind this tree. He is not out of sight, but he is slightly under the cover of the tree. And Madigan, that would be your turn. Oh wait, shit. I didn't actually begin the encounter. Whoops. And then
Oh,
boop, boop. There you go. Now, Madigan.
Oh my god, the dramatic voice.
Oh, is it good? I didn't want to turn it on, but I kind of want
I
to
didn't
now.
hear a voice. What voice?
You have to turn it on.
where is it?
The cross swords encounters, the cogwheel. There's a combat theme, and there's fight commentator.
Fuck. Is it in the settings?
Jesus Christ.
Cross swords
Thank
at
you,
the
You
V.
can
top.
hit the play button next to it to preview it.
Right next to where round 1 is, there's a cogwheel.
Combat theme, none. Fight commentator? That one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Low
God,
key,
that's so...
badass.
Wow. What are you doing, Madigan?
So just making sure we have 3 actions we can do per turn, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Oh, music change. I will rage.
That's one action.
So click use, right?
Mhm.
Pop. I guess stride.
If you click on your token and then in the top left corner, go to your actions, there is a little like hoverable menu.
Actions. Or are you talking about the strike, action, inventory, that thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you hover over actions, you can click rage and it should apply it to your token.
Okay. Actions. Right. Does that work? I was clicking on it, right? Alright. 5, 10. So I can move here. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. And because I'm feeling fancy, I'm gonna use my shovel.
Oh, okay.
gonna bury him in the snow.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And then what you want to do is right click on him and then do the bullseye to target him.
Right click. So bullseye him.
Yes.
Okay. And then strike with it's saying draw.
Oh, yes, you have to use an action to draw your weapon.
Oh, that sucks.
You can use your claws.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the basic clause, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Do I do the +6, +2, or -2?
Because this is your first strike, you want the first of 3. So the +6.
Okay. And roll.
14. You missed it by 1.
Ah,
So
damn.
close. But that is your turn. Angharad, go ahead. So you're like trying to dash and hit this dude, and he is a very, very deft little gremlin, and he's able to, when you're like sloughing through the snow, just hide in the little bits of snow that are kicked up.
Scratched at the tree.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't have my
You don't have what?
weapon out, right?
Correct. I assumed at this point everyone would be armor on, but weapons not drawn.
That makes sense. All right. So first action will be get weapon out. Second action will be that's 10 feet. All right. So Angharad will then stride 35 feet.
And Herod like dashes through the snow
On a one-horse
wildly
open
fast.
sleigh. Yes, she will dash through the snow, and she will attempt to attack this thing as well. I don't believe this counts as flanking, but I'm going to ask you if you'll count it anyway.
I will say, with how fast you move, and I can measure because you were sitting here. How do I fucking?
It's control click.
Oh, yeah, you could totally dash to get around, just barely. So I'll say that if you want to just position yourself so that it is a true flank, then he will be flanked.
All right. All of a sudden, I can't move my token now, but that's fine.
I'll move it. There we go.
Okay, cool. So I will attempt an attack. Strikes, and then I use the first strike button here.
Hey, perfect. So an 18 does hit. So let me see.
You have to do the flat-footed thing.
Yeah, I'm looking for off guard. There it is.
All right. So regular damage. Christ. Okay.
Whew.
That is 0?
Jesus.
Damn.
10.
That's
Oh,
plus
10.
3.
Yeah. Holy shit. Okay, so you like swoosh up behind him, and in one fell swoop, Maddie, like you're like swinging wildly, clawing at him as he's like like jumping around, and he's the size of Stitch, and he sounds kind of like Stitch, and he's blue like Stitch, but he's gross and like warty and like bald and kind of gross looking. But as he's jumping and dipping around, he jumps in the air once to dodge one of your claw swipes, and then Angharad just slides in behind, and there is a sharp gust of wind that goes like across your cheek, and this thing's head is liberated from its body. This one
That's
is
without sneak attack damage.
deadity dead. Christ above. This one pops out. Oh. I believe that was the end of your turn, right, Angharad?
Yes.
This is just an
Okay.
excuse for Joe to make his grumpy Joe noises.
Yes, it really, truly is. They are literally, categorically gremlins. It's going to try to throw a dart at Electra. But I. Oh no.
Move closer, bitch.
No, you know what? It's gonna try to demoralize you. It's gonna look at you, Electra, and it is going to put both of its like hands on its face and pull on like its mouth. You know, like the cartoonish way where like anime characters would pull on their cheeks and like stick their tongue out and be like bleh, bleh, and make their face look really fucked up and weird. It's gonna try to do that. Uh, it's really not gonna be good at it.
Question mark?
What is uh your I believe I have to overcome your will save plus 10? No. So it just makes an ugly face at you,
Okay.
and then it will use these guys are really not equipped to fight here, but you know what? It's fine. He's going to use a stride to get slightly closer, and then he will throw a dart. One dart.
My AC is 18.
Wait, how did it... Oh, it rolled a 16. Well, he does manage to hit you with a 21,
Okay.
but it is a very wimpy dart.
Okay.
So we'll see if it... 3 damage.
Okay.
1d4 minus 1. He did the absolute max damage he could do without critting.
Okay.
Okay. And that will be all of its actions. So now it's your turn, Electra.
Well, I'm going to draw my weapon, and then I'm
Uh-huh.
going to use exploit vulnerability.
Uh-huh.
So I think I just
Oh,
have to click that.
don't.
Yes.
Sorry, I was clicking something trying to figure out what something was. Ignore me. I'm trying to prepare.
So you can
Got this.
use your lore Fey lore if you want to. Or
My
not Fey lore.
esoteric, I mean.
Yes, your hunter lore.
Yeah.
Hunting lore.
Esoteric, you mean?
Esoteric lore. Yes. Oh my god.
Yes.
That is more than enough to figure out that this creature is weak to cold iron. It is a Fey. And more specifically, this is a gremlin, or a type of gremlin called a mitflit. Mitflits are you've seen other gremlins, but mitflits are like weird tautological creatures. They hate other people and they hate themselves, and they work together to typically bully people. They are just
Okay.
small little balls of hate.
Little assholes.
Okay. Well, I will exploit that mortal weakness, so now I'll get a bonus against all of these motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
So I cannot move and attack now because I've used 2 actions, so I'm going to demoralize it right back.
Hey, go for it. It is extremely easy to demoralize. You get a +4 circumstance bonus because these creatures have an ability called self-loathing.
Oh my god.
These
Do
poor
I
little
just roll
Safe?
bastards.
intimidation? Is it just intimidation?
Yeah,
Bro,
it's just intimidation.
are these guys just fucking middle school bullies?
Yep.
They kind of are. And it's worth noting that not all gremlins are like this, but mitflits are they the typically run in this sort of oh my.
Hey.
Holy shit.
He is frightened too.
Hey.
You just ruined this for Gremlin's whole day, man.
Ruined his whole fucking career is what you've
It
done.
shot at me and made an ugly face, and because I can glare instead of shout, so I just look at it.
He made a face, and then you drew your whip and took one step towards it, and then just
Yeah,
fucking stared it down.
yeah. As part of my exploit vulnerability, you just see her like get some like cold iron flakes from like a belt patch, and you just see her coat her whip while while looking at it.
Jesus Christ. This poor fucker.
Okay, that's my turn.
Oh no, I think Joe died.
Oh no! This means we're
No!
gonna get kicked out of the game.
No!
No!
You have lost connection to the server. Attempting to reestablish.
Damn it, Joe.
The message went away for me, so maybe he'll return soon.
Maybe.
Is
He's
5 foot
still
step a
alive.
thing in this or this like 2e2?
I don't think so, but I could be wrong about that. Let me check.
I
I
don't think
just
so either.
I need to be 5 foot closer. Exactly.
Yeah, it's still in action. but it does take one of your little diamonds. It's not free anymore.
Bullshit, man.
Oh man, my wires are gonna be so fucking crossed. Learning,
Because tomorrow we're playing Rune Lords.
yeah, learning
yeah.
1e and 2e at the same time. 1e and a 2e. 16 notes.
Joe is an evangelist for wanting me to run Rune Lords in 2e, and I feel like the conversions are a lot.
Do they not have Rune Lords
Yeah.
written up in 2E?
No,
Uh-huh.
because Rune Lords actually was originally in 3.5.
Ah. I feel like that's a project somebody should take on, though.
I'm sure somebody will do it eventually, but I
I'm
also
gonna
just
use this
know
lull to go get some food real quick.
See, I have been cursed somehow that I feel like I have fallen into the witch trap in fucking Pathfinder.
and now you'll see the remastered Witch.
I don't think so. I think I'm just once I finally figure out Willow with this witch, I'm not fucking with it again.
The unremastered Witch. I do think it's funny that Egara just fucking decapitated this thing. Yeeted herself 40 feet and then just decapitated it.
Sorry, Willow made you reveal your secret.
It worked out pretty well. I thought it was a good scene, so.
She's a weirdo that needs to have answers to all of her questions. You presented a question.
Egara didn't present the question, Whistler did.
No, Doc did.
Doc did. That's totally the kind of bullshit Doc would pull too.
Yep. So
I knew from the very
for context, that character was the character that Joe played in the Wilds Beyond Witchlight D&D campaign that I was in with him in a different server. So that was the reaction that you heard from both me and Amy of like, oh, fucking this dude.
it's
I
fucking
did
Doc.
notice that.
Just as soon as I heard, I'm not doing nothing, I'm like, that's Doc. It's fucking Doc, isn't it?
Welcome back, Joe.
Joe, do you live?
Joe!
He does not live. I just got kicked out.
Oh,
I also love him like rejoining the server call with the fucking Obi-Wan icon as we're like asking if he's alive.
Hello again.
So,
oh,
Hello.
Joe,
oh
do you
my
live?
god, I do live. I
Holy shit, you
was
live.
mid sentence, and my computer blue screened.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You gotta
This computer has never blue screened before.
you gonna have to
You
fix that shit.
rat
Yeah.
bastard piece of shit trying to fucking do fucking game concerned it.
But for your context, Kira, as we're all getting reset up again. Yeah, Doc was Joe's character, and I think there was a chance to run into my character because she was described in the court scenes.
Yes, she was
Mhm.
there. Tourmaline.
Tourmaline, yep.
I tried to get a cameo from all the other Fae characters. Like I also described Whist.
Mhm.
Oh, so I was
Yes,
right?
it was West.
It was? Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
I was like, look, there's Whist. There's Tori. Okay.
Yeah, Tori was amongst the fairies that were described.
hmm
I'm surprised you didn't have like Tori get thrown in when Paige started doing a fucking magic show.
Oh, I fucking should have. I didn't think about it for some reason. Damn.
It's
That
fucking
was free real estate.
bard ass fucking fairy. It's like, ooh, magic.
but not real magic. Fake magic. Interesting.
Ah,
Tori and Paige would have gotten along so well.
swimmingly, really.
House on fire. This is what happens if you put 2 Vards.
Hmm.
One who can... I'm thinking about Tori's curse.
Hmm.
Oh no.
So clearly, this is the next campaign after Rogues, right? Bards.
Bards?
I would be super down for that.
I played a one shot where it was an Oops All Bards one shot, and that was a hot fucking mess. Good lord.
Okay, refocusing. I want to get through one round of combat. We're so close.
We're getting there.
Electro, that was your entire turn, right?
Piper stepped away, but yes, that was her entire turn.
Okay, Paige. Paige,
Hold
do
on.
something really
It's loading.
cool.
It's loading. You're asking a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's loading.
That's cool. I get a sound notification of like when the person in front of me is going.
Yes, I have enabled a little thing to notify the person whose turn is next.
Mm.
the fucking bell for the ADHD people. Focus.
Hey.
Yes, I saw that was an option, and I was like, I need that to be on all the time.
All right. All right.
Snap Amy out of podcast mode.
Yeah. Sorry. I
We're
don't know
doing
why
weird
my
blue
brain
break.
turns into podcast mode when I'm not like the first 4 persons. Okay. Okay. Fuck. 3 actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Tree. Okay. Well, I know exactly what she's gonna do, and attacking is none of them.
Uh-huh.
She is going to. I can imagine she's sitting on like a little like log, right?
Mm-hmm.
She is going to stand up from her little log, and with like a wave of her hand, and there's just like I imagine she fucking reaches into her fucking pocket and pulls out a bunch of fucking glitter.
Uh-huh.
And I imagine that she's going to, for her first 2 actions,
Or my
she is
first turn.
going to, yeah, what she's going to physically do is take out a handful of glitter and just yeet it into the direction of the enemy. This fucking shitty blue little gremlin guy.
Mm-hmm.
But for the first action, I'd like to do lingering composition.
Okay.
All right. Which uses one of her focus points.
Uh-huh.
So,
you add a flourish to your composition to extend its benefits. Okay.
yes. So I have to roll a check, right? A performance check?
Yes, you roll a performance check. The DC to beat is usually standard difficulty, which is 15.
Okay. Performance. Roll. I'm going to re-roll that.
Yes, you have a hero point.
Uh,
Again.
This time with feeling. There we
it
go.
is.
All right. So, for her second action, she is going to use the focus cantrip, Inspire Courage.
Hey.
So, herself and her allies, everyone gets a +1 to attack rolls, damage rolls, and saves against fear effects.
In a 60-foot emanation, which is
Yes.
so an emanation is from you.
Yes.
Wild.
She's a support bard. She's
Hell yeah.
supportive. And for her last action, I assume it's the same like in 5e where you can't cast more than one spell and cantrip and shit.
Spells are
No,
usually
you
2
can.
actions.
It depending on the spell or whatever, it
Okay.
can be 1, 2, or 3 actions. Your cantrip
Okay.
is only 1 action, so you can cast another spell.
Okay. Well, I don't have another one that's a single
Oh, okay.
spell that would be useful at the moment, but thank you for future reference.
Mhm.
Her third action is going to be used to take cover. Fucking down to
Yes.
the fucking ground.
The iffy special.
I will say, because there is a good amount of snow on the ground, you can just take cover by throwing yourself into a snow mound at your feet.
Yep. Hit the fucking deck. That's her turn.
Perfect. And
Right, everyone? Remember your +1s. You're doing great. The enemy is like highlighted in glitter for you.
I imagine that's what Peach is like during this combat.
Move. Then I should have. Yeah. So the only one that I can see right now is this boy that's already got the fear effect on him.
yes, and he is very, very afraid.
So as a move, I draw weapon. And we'll use the Delane flame sprayer on this guy.
Yes.
Check. Let me see if I can figure out this thing. Oh, what?
Oh, glitter.
I placed the 60-foot emanation on page.
Holy shit.
So is that a
There, I can get rid of it.
+4 from my thing?
That's fucking cute. Holy shit.
Yeah, it is. It's fucking great.
That was groovy, is what that was.
Yeah, I think groovy is the exact word.
Hell yeah.
Yep, that's correct. Cool. So it is no ammunition is assigned to fuck. Joe.
Oh. In your inventory, the
Because there is no flame cartridges assigned to the. It won't let me roll it. I can just roll like normal for right now.
Oh, there you go. Just assign sling bullets. It doesn't matter.
Huh? How do I do that?
Yeah, fuck it. If you go to the actions and then go to the Delane flame sprayer, there is an ammo thing beneath it that has a drop down menu.
I'm clearly not going to the right place.
Uh, oh, wait, I should screen. There we go. On this one, chow. See between the word strike and sheath.
Oh, that menu. Okay.
That's where you put bullets in.
Okay. So now is not loaded. I was just gonna assume this one
What?
always starts loaded because that's the way she would keep it.
Yes, yeah, I would say that it would already be loaded.
Keep that motherfucking thing
I
on.
am annoyed by this now, so I'm just gonna do it this way. This is it. Well, nope, I can't do that. +4, 5, roll. 14.
Yeah, 15.
I added the
That
+1
does.
already.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
You did?
That,
Oh, okay.
that does hit. So you do hit the method.
Okay. And with that,
It does 1d6 plus 1 fire damage.
1d6 plus 1 plus another.
Yes,
Plus
from
1
page.
because of the page or 1
Yes.
aside?
The plus 1 goes to your damage as well from page.
So it's only a +1. Okay. 4.
4. You blast him. Let me hit him with 4. Choom. He now has to make a reflex save, or he will catch on fire, I believe. No, wait.
That's critical success.
Yeah, that's critical success. Well, he is hit. You shoot him with the flame sprayer, and it he gets thrown back from the little concussive bit of fire that hits him, and you hear this horrible high pitch like. And now it'll be Pierre's turn. So Pierre is going to. How far away can he shoot from? That is the question. Okay. Yeah, he does not actually need to move, so he sees the creature, reaches down, grabs the flintlock pistol out of his own bag. He is going to spend an action to load it, and then fire. Let me see. Can I? No! Yeah, you stupid piece of shit.
Is that his,
Incorporate.
is that his eternal monologue?
Oh, he's
Please say
muttering
no.
that's muttering out loud. And this is why you should oil your guns.
Attack modifier, and it deals. How much does a. How is this flintlock not already done? Fucking Pierre, man.
Yeah, sure. Pierre.
Shut up.
I was just agreeing with you.
And he does get a +1 circumstance bonus from you, Paige. That only hits by virtue of this creature being so ungodly afraid of Electra right now. So do your debuffs, class. This dude is gonna get blasted. Not quite dead, but Pierre shoots him real good. As you hear the snap and the sizzle of the flintlock, and then Pierre just goes, did it, and then and that'll be Pierre's turn, which throws it back to the first guy. The first guy is going to choose one action to sustain the spell, which does reveal him. And he is going to run, ride, stride this way, I guess. I don't know
Talk
how
to
to
his
move
buddy.
that emanation.
Coward.
Whoops. He's going to run this way. And unfortunately, he's not able to get anybody in the emanation because his stumpy legs are too short. But he will use.
He's just like me for real.
Same.
He will use his last action to throw a dart at Pierre.
Don't throw at the NPC, you coward.
Fine, and he will throw a dart at you. I'm a fickle DM. I would bet you money that an 11 doesn't hit.
Nope.
In fact, I could bet that it misses by 5. That is his turn. This dude is dead. Madigan. You are raging. Do something cool.
You is muted, Iris.
I was
Iris!
talking. Damn it.
Every
He
time
never learns,
for the
ever.
past year.
So this one's not dead, right? This one here?
He is on his last leg.
Okay. Cool. If I were to move here, nothing would happen, right? It's moving.
Correct.
I'm not gonna get any debuffs or whatever.
Nope.
Cool.
Well, actually, technically, yes, because this Mephit, has has chosen to use one of his actions to sustain a spell, which is it's creating a sort of pressure on the snow around it.
So
Okay.
Can I make
put
a
the emanation back
small?
up.
Can I make a small suggestion?
Yes.
Rather for Iris, try like this square here, if you can get to it. Then I can get like over here. Although there is an
Okay.
emanation going on.
Yeah, I can move there. I was gonna try and hit one and hopefully kill it. This kind of thing. So
Yeah, go
that's
for
cool.
it.
This one you could absolutely kill.
You could get between the two of them.
That's what I was considering. But
Yeah, go for it if you like.
Well, no, if you suggest otherwise, Kira, then I will take your advice.
It's okay because if you go here, then and can go here, and then just close next round. So I think it works.
Oh,
Actually, she could probably get like over here even.
yeah, because I was actually gonna go for this one. So
Yeah, makes sense.
yeah. So Maddie is going to stride for the first action.
Uh-huh.
Go move here. Is this allowed?
Yes. You will make a will save.
Okay. Will save.
DC 16 will save.
Will
I
save.
believe, however, attack rolls, damage rolls, and saves. You get a +1 from Paige against on your save.
Sweet. That's something I have to do in the actual thing. Will?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. That's a +1.
Hey, you made it.
Okay, cool. Cool. Good. And clarifying, because I'm pretty sure you said this when we were doing Genesis, but Maddie's curse doesn't affect other like creatures, correct? Unless they're like human.
Correct.
Cool. Maddie's gonna run in and bite at this thing.
Go for it.
If I can get my mouse to work. Where is bite? So target this dude.
Mm-hmm.
Nom.
Yeah, bite effect.
Nom.
That is a success.
Sweet.
So you run up behind him and slide into the snow and then bite down on his shoulder, which is also his torso.
And then for shits and giggles, because it would be a negative if I have to roll again, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can I demoralize?
Demoralize as a part of your attack?
No, like as the third action.
Yes. Yeah. But roll your damage first.
Oh, I thought I rolled. Okay, this is not like D&D, right?
You have to collect damage separately. Yeah.
7.
And
Nice.
that's a +2 from
Plus 2
reach.
for 9.
Yeah, the plus one
So,
from Paige, right?
Oh,
yeah,
and
you get
+1 for Paige.
and +1 from Paige. Okay. So you rear back and bite down onto the shoulder, and like there is a moment where there's like a primal urge in you that you have not felt before. It is not the wild urge to kill and maim, but rather the wild urge to wave your head back and forth like a dog with a chew toy, and you whip your head back and forth and just tear this method to ribbons.
I imagine that like this was like a gritty TV show that was showing gore, but for this moment, it's like a genre change to like this is now a stuffed animal.
I imagine it was like a 90s gag anime, you know,
Yeah.
where everything is suddenly way lower res.
I was imagining that like someone toggled on child safety mode just for a second, just for this interaction before it goes back to normal.
Someone
And
is covered in blood.
Yep.
with that guy, his emanation effect is done.
Cool. Since I don't think I need to demoralize anymore, so I'll just go for an attack.
This dude is already demoralized twice, so go ahead and be
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Can we
Oh.
stack demoralize to just make him like go to sleep and give up?
Just lays down in the snow. I'm dead anyway.
Yeah. What's the point?
So I would click the MAP -5.
Yes, multi-attack penalty.
Okay. So target this dude. Wait.
That. How do you want to do this for the last one?
So Maddie swung her head back with this thing and just kind of used it to knock like turned around essentially and knocked it into the guy, to the other one.
Amazing. There is splatter of red all over the snow as Maddie gores the other one in a fitful of dog-like joy. And with that, combat has ended.
We did it, team.
You guys did it.
Yay.
I imagine as soon as like Willow saw Maddie like bite in and start shaking the first one, she just like very calmly like starts to reload the new canister in the flame sprayer, already turning and walking back towards Pierre and Paige, just like hand out, give me your guns. I think they might need some maintenance.
Joe, what is this creature's bulk?
The creature is a creature of at least one bulk because it is technically still like a full-sized creature. It's just small.
Oh my
Well,
god, it's snack time.
it's snack time.
Oh, behind the fucking trees, like a fucking cryptid.
Yeah, behind the fucking trees. I think it's snack time.
Why do I imagine she just like vanishes upwards into the tree, dragging the body behind her?
Honestly, it probably is something like that. While everyone is distracted by Maddie, and Garrett is going to have a snack.
Calmly takes the gun from Pierre, looks back over her shoulder. Maddie, do try to leave some peace. I imagine there's something useful in them.
Here, just holding the gun, like, I hit him. Holy shit, I hit him. I did not think I would hit. It's like the second or third time I fired a gun.
Paige emerges from the mound of snow.
Paige, you have a gun as well, don't you?
Yes.
Give it here.
Okay. Give gun. She gives big pats on the back to Pierre. I imagine she does like little shadow boxing into his side. And she's like, "You did it! Look, you were so cool! You fired a gun. You actually hit it."
Thank you. I think the glitter really helped. And he dusts some glitter off of his shoulder.
She gives a fucking salute. And then she starts shivering because she just dived into the fucking snow and she just sits closer to the fire
Ah,
as much as she can.
perfect.
Maddie will drag the
Then
bodies over to Willow because she assumes Willow
Mhm.
wants them.
Yeah, Willow's now got her fucking work cut out for the night because she is going to disassemble the siblings' guns, properly oil them and maintain them, and then give them back. And then she's going to start fucking dissecting the bodies.
I feel like Willow's going to count and realize one is missing and just be like, oh God. God damn it, did I miss it?
Did I miss it?
Just like kind of looking around, like where I know there was a third one. There was a third one, and then looks up as Anchorad's coming back, kind of slow blink. Ah. Well, it's not one of them in the tents. There is a very low bar.
The bar is, do we know it?
Do we
Have
know
we had
it,
a
or
conversation with it?
do we know it, or do we want to know it? No, I guess it's a worthy sacrifice.
For the cause.
I
I need to
imagine
save
it's
this
like
macro.
Egghead just drops back down from the tree, you know?
Yeah.
And that's when Willow's like, wait a fucking second.
Paige is busy helping Maddie clean up because she's covered in fucking blood and gore again.
Yeah.
For somebody
Or
who's really so protective of her fur and her hair, she gets
Her
disgusting quite
hair.
often.
Her hair in particular.
yeah, don't worry, Paige is on hair duty. She sneaks some prestidigitation in there.
Maddie takes a fistful of snow to wash her hands. She hates it because it's cold, but it's something. Wash the gunk off her face.
Oh, you know what? It's perfect. Paige is gonna pull out one of her fucking handkerchiefs, untie it from the rope of handkerchiefs, and that's gonna be her prestidigitation handkerchief.
Oh.
Hmm.
Maddie saw Maddie saw the strips of hankies and was like, oh, again, yes.
Nope,
But then she just untied. It's like, oh.
not again. It's conveniently a red handkerchief.
Who disappeared?
Who
Hmm?
disappeared?
I thought I heard someone DC.
I heard Joe
Mm,
humming.
Hmm.
You're not crazy because I also heard somebody DC.
I heard Joe humming.
It was a couple minutes ago, but I
Oh.
definitely also heard somebody DC.
Oh, okay.
Weird.
I guess they just came back that quickly.
Could have been just like an internet connection kind of thing.
Yeah.
I thought for a second that was Maddie asking who disappeared.
hmm.
Look
Well, I
who
mean,
comes
that too.
rolling in. That
She'd be
too.
more like, Where'd Dane go?
I feel like when Angharad emerges from behind the tree, she looks like happier. But like it's Angharad, so she's not like happy, but happier.
There's
Happier.
one less furrow. One less crease between the eyebrows.
She doesn't have wrinkles. Her skin is like freakishly smooth.
If a person who is pale could glow while being surrounded by like a winter wonderland, it would be Aang.
Well,
Do I find anything interesting on the two bodies that are not eaten, assumedly?
snack.
Well, you find 2 piece of shit knives,
A
one
knife is a
dart.
knife.
It is. You find 2 really, really bad knives, 1 dart, and you find. Yeah, you know what? Fine. You find a small pearl worth about 2 gold. A pearl worth 2 gold, and in the same like pocket of that loincloth, you find a broken tooth, like the piece of tooth that broke off.
Does it look like one of their teeth, or
Yes.
okay?
Yeah. And so like as you are like fishing that thing out of its pockets, you find the one whose tooth, the one in the pocket with the tooth and the pearl, that one was missing a like kind of a gnashing tooth, like a pointed tooth in its mouth. You can tell that it has a slight asymmetry to it. If you want to know what could have possibly happened, you can roll. Let me see. I don't know what this would be.
So can I add this to inventory as a dagger?
Yes. Yes, you could just add to an inventory as 2 mundane daggers.
Well, she's going to keep a dagger. She's going to hand a dagger and the dart to the siblings.
Pierre takes
What?
it.
Wait, hands the dagger and what?
The dart.
A dart?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, well, you two probably need a few more weapons, and that one likes throwing shit apparently. So
Zinko? Are we going to She like holds up the dart, inspecting it. I don't think we have a far target.
It's meant to be thrown at someone. It is like well, they throw that. And he gestures to Electra, but doesn't say her name because Electra is intimidating.
Aim for the chest, not the head.
Okay, okay. Faye just pulls. She'll put the dart away. She's like, okay, easy enough, I guess. I'll fucking pretend it's a target. Pretend drinks are on the line. See if that kicks in muscle memory. Thank you, Willow.
Willow just kind of like hums her acknowledgement as the bloodier work starts.
There's morbid curiosity from Paige. But she will focus on helping Maddie clean up.
Is it gross? Yes, but for two of those benefit. It's always clinical.
Very scientific.
You know, you don't have to help me.
What do you mean? Of course I do.
Kind of used to it. I got a cleaning routine, you know?
Okay, but this is like the super good handkerchief. It's good for everything. You can clean anything with this.
You know, we could also just push her into a snowdrift. Get it all off at once.
Unless you have a way to warm me up real quick, I'd rather not.
But
Willow slowly looks over, eyebrow raise. Don't think you
There's
need to be talking to me about warming anybody up.
What, you really gonna light me on fire?
Well, if you're desperate to get warm very, very quickly.
Shakes her head.
I think that's called hosting, not warming.
Oh, could also be an experiment. I'm assuming your fur is a little bit different than fur from other animals. How close until it starts to singe?
How about we not find out?
Just kind of a smirk. Could tell this was very weird, very morbid joking. Goes back to what she's doing.
We could move
Pierre.
closer. She's talking to Paige since she was kind of curious or seemed curious.
Okay, let's go. She like starts like she stands up and like acts as if she can just like pull Maddie up. She cannot, but she's helping. Sort of, not really.
She gets up and I don't know why, but in my head I just imagine she gets up right next to Paige and so quick that it might like put Paige off balance a little
Probably.
because she was pulling.
Yep.
Maddie puts an arm out to grab her.
There's just a smile and just a little like rub back of her neck a little bit. She's like the body language of, huh, I meant to do that. Okay, let's go.
Move closer to Willow.
Closer to Willow. Inspect. See what she's up to. Morbid curiosity, but also like she doesn't want Maddie to have blood in her hair because that to her that feels gross. As in like it would get sticky. It's gonna like give a weird texture to the hair. So like she's like I don't want Maddie to feel what that feels like. I'm sure she does all the time. However, still probably not a good feeling. She's gonna fucking park Maddie in an optimal Willow watching
Viewing range.
viewing range. Yes.
Got front row seats.
Yes. Down upwind.
Please.
Yeah, upwind. Perfect Willow watching seats.
Okay, so I have a question because it's very late.
Hmm.
Do you all want to hand wave the next chunk of the journey so that you arrive at Dee Dee's so that the next session can be talking to Dee Dee? And then the interim from now to then you can have as text RP time if you like.
I'm good with that.
I don't have
Sounds
anything in
cool.
particular to do with anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, sure.
Okay. Then I will. We will speed run the next few days. If I do this, I can rest you all for the night. Yay,
Ah,
macros.
cool.
Yeah, macros good. So, it is a grueling few days as the cold does not let up. But you all eventually find your way by the guidance of Angharad and the geospatial reasoning of Willow. Uh, you come to a spot where the trees begin to change, and they are no longer these kind of massive trunks or scattering of tall oaks. They start to turn thin and white. And as you are walking, you see some of these trees start to shrink in size. And what is effectively like a breach in the trees, you come to,
Sorry, I hit the
and
wrong button.
you're all right. I waited. So you walk out of a thicket of some of the trees you're more familiar with, and you see these thin and small white trees, and the branches extend upwards, leafless. But something catches your attention, and you all notice this. It's fairly obvious. When you look at the trees, on the edges, or not edges, on the ends of the branches, on all of these trees, are bottles, glass bottles, dozens of them, on every tree. And as you look around, you can see that all of these trees in like a radius start to have glass bottles on them. All of these thin, small white trees. And you can see that as you look in towards the center of a flat, kind of otherwise nondescript part of woodland, there is a very, very small, like a little shack. And let me see. I want. So you see this small little shack, and it is not big, barely big enough for one person. And it's painted sky blue, a very, very lovely shade of blue, boxed in with wood. There is a single door with no handle. Instead, the door has been nailed shut. But there is a window with a crossbar of iron rails that keep it sealed. And just as you get close and start to walk in, you all feel a slight tingle in the back of your mind, like someone is aware that you're here or something. And you all feel it. All of you feel it at the same time as you hear. I have visitors. And that's where we'll end for next session.
You just went full tilt on the Southern superstitions there, didn't you?
Yes. I gave Kira the deciding vote. I was like, do you want it to be this character or this creature or that creature? And Kira went with the other one, and I was like, hell yeah, that's way more exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited.